That's exactly it. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
exactly it. So basically, the reason why I say it's not the same as like a Catholic and a Protestant is like, at the end of the day, like it's the exact same religion, exact same book, exact same philosophy, exact same prophet. The only thing is like, who should have ran the religion after the prophet died is what makes the difference. You know what I mean? It's exactly what you just said. That was perfect.
Basically, January 6th. It's basically January 6th. Imagine you had January.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's a very good example. Yeah, January 6th.
You know what's crazy though? Like with the example Homie was providing, I do kind of see what Captain was saying there with like how when you have so many like cultures that are diametrically opposed and have so many different value differences and stuff, it does make it like way easier for people to
all right, seems like this is
to end up in a situation where they may not be the most favored class of people or the most respected group of either cultures or values or whatever, right? And that's why I think
like in America, when America was like firstly founded, you guys didn't like the Irish, right? And then after a while, it became like another group, and then after a while, it became another group. You know what I mean? There's always going to be like this one.
You need a solid constitution that kind of outlines that no cunt is going to like disrespect any other other group. That all groups have to be all the same and don't.
We have that here. Like it literally, it is in our con. Like so I don't know if you guys know about the Abrahamic family house, but like it's the only place here in the Middle East where you can go to a mosque, a synagogue, and a church.
Okay.
Damn.
Right,
That's sick.
What about?
Disconnect. Let's go. Why's my microphone didn't sound so echoey? What if I put it up close to my mouth like this? It still sounds echoey. Oh well. Alrighty. Where do I gotta go for this stupid debate? See a link in event, top left server, event details. I'll go here, visit site. Oh, it's a StreamYard. Alright, if I want to do that, then video capture, Chrome browser, webcam, tough. Let's just do. Continue with YouTube. Double clock. I don't have a screen capture on here. Add play capture. Existing. Top. Okay. Enter studio.
Good content over there. Discussed in the UK.
How do I get this?
Liberal fuck is here. He's
audio speaker.
Interesting.
Mike, none of this is working.
But I would imagine it's the same rules for all of us on YouTube, right? Basically YouTube rules, I would imagine.
Settings. Extensions, performance, autofill, privacy, performance, appearance, search engine, default browser, on
startup. You got a guitar adapter?
System, maybe? Basic extensions about Chrome.
I can play some guitar. Sure.
To add a microphone to Chrome. More settings. Privacy security. Why is it in privacy and security?
Oh, well.
Settings. Is there more settings?
Yeah. Figure out how to do
Things, more tools.
Redo this place. It take a lot of work.
Privacy, security.
Father-in-law gave me a compound miter saw. Quite a nice one.
Third party,
But
security,
it's
site settings.
bolted to a folding table, which takes up massive
Camera.
space.
Microphone.
You can see it's in front of the.
Why doesn't it ask me to use? Goodness gracious! Why do you use StreamYards? Why not just use fucking Discord like a normal person? Mail.com. Copy. Paste. You fucking piece of sh. It's just gonna do. Yeah, there we go. Live stream, recording, content for a podcast, webinars. Yeah. Okay, live stream test. Team settings, referrals, all library destinations. I don't think anything is going to work on this. That's kind of annoying. Our website. Settings, camera. We want my regular camera. Is that? Yeah, why does that say USB 2.0 HD camera? Camera resolution, that's fine. Audio. Mic. No, we need this to be this one right here. Can you hear me? Okay. Speakers. I need this to be okay.
Yeah, that's what happens. And yes, welcome to my lovely wife. How you doing, liberal clock? Good to see you.
I'm doing alright. I don't know why you don't just use Discord, so I didn't have to set up a whole new thing for
Hi, Smoke Wife. Yes, good to see you. Welcome. I'm going to do a little bit of a jam on the guitar. Hey, Backstage Boxing, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Got a lot of Brits here. The old chip clip, which somebody finally figured out my Roach clip the other night. It is a chip clip. It's probably RW.
I do think Wesley
Roz Global, I don't know. Roz Alerts is the one I follow. And, but, yeah. We'll figure it out. Smart man.
Any other issue?
All right.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I guess. Don't you think that, like, if he was the... Election day is happening, the votes are like, yeah, let's go, like, count the ballots, we're gonna win one. If that was, like,
Disaster over here.
like,
Sorry. Here you go, clip.
that wasn't. He
Those are the two I mentioned. I think you follow those too, right, Last Dance? Mm-hmm. I think those are very good ones. Headphone warning. Start off. Do a little clean action. This is not what I wanted to do tonight. I want to I think I gypped you guys on the jam last week, so got it out of the way early. Gonna bust this thing open in a minute here. I have been using this, which I use for my clean sound, which does give it a little bit of punchiness. So you might not notice a difference, but I do. Alright. Thanks, Dafta. Alright, dudes, I'm gonna pop some people on here. Last Dance, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
I enjoyed that, but I think you had the background noise suppression on.
I did. I forgot because I haven't been playing much.
I should have reminded you earlier.
It's all right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add a Liberal Club. Haven't really seen you here before. Maybe once. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
You're muted.
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Good, thanks. Good, good. What are you up to tonight, man?
I think me and Dronetek at some point are going. I don't know if it's going to happen here or if it's going to happen like in Dronetek's Discord, but we're going to debate about January 6th.
Interesting. Well, it's certainly something we can talk about. I'm not averse to anything. It's just kind of an open format sort of thing here, so however it flows, you know. Hey, look, it's Sarita. But she's not on camera. I'll leave her off until RW comes back, unless she wants to join in. Can't hear her. It's fine. What's your thoughts on like a debate going on here, Last Dance?
I think it could be enjoyable. Well, you know.
You're not usually debate here?
We do. We kind of just bullshit, and sometimes it turns into a bait. Sometimes it turns into a yelling match, you know. There's no real format going on here, you know.
Yeah, RW told me to come here. He said that I might be able to talk about some of the Gen 6 or the Colorado ballot stuff here.
Sure. Definitely.
Hey, Marty.
Hey, Martin. Good to see you. I think the January 6th stuff, yeah, I guess it's pertinent because of the recent insurrection shit that they're talking about with Colorado. Cluck, do you think that was a legitimate decision they came up with in Colorado?
Do I think it's legitimate? I read the opinion from both of the court cases that was involved in that. And I think that it makes sense from a constitutional and a state law perspective. But I have a very strong value of I value democracy a lot, and I think that decision was very anti-democratic. And I'm kind of hoping that the Supreme Court denies Colorado on the grounds that he didn't get enough due process, even though by the letter of the Constitution and the letter of Colorado law, he did get all the due process that he's supposed to. I would want the Supreme Court to set the threshold for due process before you can be taken off of a ballot higher.
Do you think he committed the act of insurrection?
Well, the way that Colorado defined insurrection is a violent public disruption of a legal process. And and they also said that inciting such a thing is the same as engaging in, which was one of the issues they had were litigating. Therefore, Trump met the qualifications to be considered an insurrectionist under the 14th Amendment. And I agree that Trump did incite the violence of January 6th. If you're going to define insurrection as a public and violent disruption of a legal process, that was definitely a thing. That was definitely what happened on January 6th. So, yeah, I would say that he definitely at least incited it.
I mean, that definition, I think, is completely useless. There are so many disruptions of legal processes, and nobody would really ever say they were all insurrections. I mean, that's just utterly absurd. It's almost meaningless when you have as vague a definition as a violent interruption of a legal process. I mean, that really renders the notion of insurrection to be rather common and no big deal.
Okay, so here's can I just read out real quick the exact...
I just got one more thing.
Okay.
His incitement of it, you say he's inciting it, but, I don't think he did incite it. So I think that's even more dubious a claim than even the insurrection one. And the claim is not just that he incited it, but that he engaged in it. And the engagement is truly a stretch.
Okay. So real quick, I want to read out because I found it. I have a source document on this, and I found the section of the document. The exact wording that they used to define insurrection. So insurrection is any public use of force or threat of force by a group of people to hinder or prevent the execution of law. I don't know if you still think that specific definition is too broad. It does seem like you got to have a group of people. They got to be using or threatening to use force in order to do this thing, which is to hinder the execution of law. I'm not sure how many instances you're going to have of that being a thing. You know.
I mean, that is still way too vague. I would say that is a very pedestrian level of law breaking, and that's a dictionary definition. I doubt you can find anybody that's ever been convicted of insurrection for something that minor. And that just gets to the question of whether January 6th was an insurrection. The fact that it was, whether or not it's an insurrection, is really not the issue. It's whether Trump himself engaged in an insurrection, and that is, boy, that is extremely weak evidence that he did. I say that, I don't see how you can say that, and he's not been charged with that in all these legal cases that are pending against it.
Yeah, so in order for us to even say that Trump engaged in an insurrection, we have to at least agree that January 6th was an insurrection. If you disagree with that, then of course he didn't engage in insurrection, because January 6th wasn't even an insurrection. So I think that's the first thing that we would have to talk through.
We don't have to agree to that, but I could stipulate that for the sake of argument, certainly.
So, I mean, do you want? It's an interesting conversation if you want to talk about whether January 6th is an insurrection, and then, at the end of it, if we just want to agree to disagree and then go on to the next point, we can do that.
Well, I'd rather save that. I think. What am I hearing in the back?
Yeah, there's something going on.
Oh, hold on.
Are you listening to Destiny debate or something?
Yeah, well, I was while I was waiting to get in. I just never turned it down.
All right, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, since this is something that I think Dronetek wants to have a discussion over, I don't want to rehash it. So, but I'll be looking forward to that if he does come on and discusses it with you. So that should be interesting.
Hold on. Lib Cluck is nuts. Trump. All right, so this is from my chat. Lib Cluck is nuts. Trump 2024. Love from Britain. Lib Chuck is mental. No, he did not. Not fact. That was all typed by the same person in 3 minutes.
Where? I don't see that.
In the YouTube chat. My YouTube chat.
Oh, you're on your own channel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you're on your own channel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have to wait for Dronetek. There's a chance he might not even show up.
Well, my only concern is that he'll want to go over this, and we'll have to rehash it twice. So.
He said he'll be on in a few minutes. That was 2 minutes ago. I don't know if he's coming. Hold on. Yeah, I think he's coming to this thing.
All right.
You want to talk about Colorado? Oh wait, hold on. That's what we're talking about. No. So me and Dronetek are supposed to be talking about specifically was January 6th a FBI setup.
Oh, was it an inside job?
Yeah, that's what me and Dronetek. We're not actually talking about Colorado.
I'm not saying it's an inside job.
Okay.
So we can't argue.
It's funny. RW says wife stole laptop, but his wife's right there with the laptop.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should put Sarita on.
Yeah, I don't. She know. At least she knows she's here and on camera, right? So yeah. I'll. Oh wow, cup of tea, bringing in some I don't know. I don't know about that. I suppose we should remove that.
Okay.
Even though we'll still be able to see it here, I believe.
Are you doing it, or you want me to?
You can, if you don't mind.
Nope, I don't mind. Remove.
You doing anything for New Year Eve, Liberal Cluck?
Yeah, I'm going dancing. I know that for sure. And I'm right now in the middle of at everyoneing my friend Discord to see if any of them are coming here to do like a New Year's party.
And your actual human friends, not computer friends?
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Online versus real flesh. And
actual, right.
Yeah.
And you don't do anything Last Dance for that day.
No, I've over the years I've done stuff and I've not done stuff, and it's a big pain in the ass to do stuff.
Sure.
I mean, I
Carl Ambler, if you are still on my YouTube, you are more than welcome to come to my Discord and talk to me about this. I am happy to do that.
It's just the pain in the ass.
The Discord should be in the description, but I'm not really sure that it is. If it's not, just let me know and I will post it in chat. So that's a challenge directly to you, Carl Ambler, if you think I'm so mental.
Right. It's your license.
That's part of the pain in the ass is, just going out to drink is, you have to, in my case, I don't take a chance. I wait a couple, 3 hours before I leave the place after I've had my last drink, so.
Or get an Uber.
Or get an Uber, which is fantastically expensive these days for, at least going into Baltimore. Coming out of Baltimore is what's expensive. Going in is about half as much, strangely enough.
Baltimore's super shady from what I hear, but...
Yeah. I mean, you go down to Fells Point. It's not so shady. But still, it's not. It's shadier than where I live. That's for sure.
Right. I mean, from your perspective, do you hear like a lot of bad things about Boston per se?
Yeah.
But you do Philly, and everyone hears about Chicago, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean, mostly absolutely. I mean, but there's a lot of bad stuff I hear about Baltimore too. I don't need to go that far to hear all the bad stuff, but.
And The Wire from Baltimore?
The Wire was set in Baltimore, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't help, even though it was completely made up. Like bars and clubs. Okay, so RW knows it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's definitely amateur night. Goes out anymore anyways,
Yeah.
All the way till midnight.
I go out all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. Why do you think I'm not streaming a lot?
What was that? You think when you're not streaming a lot?
Why do you think I don't stream a lot?
Oh, because you're out.
Yeah.
I'm
out or doing stuff.
Do you drink alcohol?
No, not really. Sometimes I'll drink like a drink.
Okay. So you're just going out to hang with people and dance, have fun, whatever, that sort of shit.
Pretty much.
That's cool. Oh, good for you, man.
Last Dance, what's your story? What do you do like around here? What got you to start coming on Smoky Steve's little shindig?
I'm not sure why I came on. I guess we were a group of people that knew each other more or less from a website called LiveLeak, and as the years went by and things changed, the founder of LiveLeak put on a YouTube stream called Trigger Warning, And Smoke Steve had an idea that he would do his own stream after Trigger Warning, and or as sort of associated with it, perhaps is the best way.
Hayden was going to end it, and I volunteered.
Yeah, okay. Hayden stopped doing Trigger Warning shows, and Smoke Steve did this pub.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I got the courage to come on camera. And
you did originally with Hayden, so with me it was easy, a no-brainer for you, I would think, right?
No, I don't think I ever went on with Hayden.
No kidding, huh?
No, never did.
Okay. And of course, Dronetek was from Live Leak as well. Have you heard of Live Leak, Liberal Cluck?
Is that what we're on right now? I've never heard of this.
Live Leak was a website where, people went to die, is what, people kind of thought of it. It had a lot of death videos, a lot of war videos.
Oh gosh, like the edgy stuff that people are into for some reason.
Yes, but it also developed a really cool community of people who are slightly tapped in the head, but good people nonetheless, but clearly we're all there for the same fucked up reason,
Yeah.
It's not like you could be there and be like, no, I never came here for any of that shit. No, you were here for it originally, but you got to know other people, so,
I was there, my whole mission back then was to out-propaganda the terrorists' propaganda, and that was my whole motivation back then, was just to make Iraq war, post all those videos that showed us, kicking ass and stuff. That was my whole thing there.
Interesting. It was a great, I tell you, I think he would do really well right now, but yeah, you can't control the comments and the racism, anti-Semitism, and homophobia that goes on in the comment sections. The advertisers see that shit, and then you lose all your advertisers in one day. That's what happened.
Yeah, he's got a movie studio now, right? Black Octopus.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Dronetek.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I was talking to Destiny.
Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I did go on completely, unprepared. It's not like I had prepared notes and all this shit like you were doing. I'm just going by what's up here.
Yeah, I've learned
okay for that.
I've learned to not go into debates unless I have prepared notes. It doesn't work out.
Yeah, I did make some very basic notes, just some the points I wanted to bring up, but it's just I'm obsessed with that stuff all the time, so it's in there. But yeah, I mean, the reason I wanted to bring those things up to him was because I wanted to see, if I was wrong. And there was a couple things there he did kind of get me on, but there was some things he was really stretching on, and it really I thought it was a pretty eye-opening thing when he started screaming about imprisoning Trump supporters, which is something I predicted, but we'll get to. And he clearly thinks he was serious. He's dead serious.
I don't think he's dead serious about that.
Should be rounded up and put in prison.
I don't believe that he's.
We just lost Clark, by the way.
He's back. His device knock. He'll be back. What is Destiny like? Just extremely progressive, far left,
He tries to be pragmatic, and take. The left really hates him because of his stance on Israel, and he thinks people like me are complete, conspiracy theorist morons.
Yeah, he considered basically everything you had as deception.
Yeah.
So, sorry for that, little man.
Oh, he's back.
I was fucking with my camera. I didn't realize it would kick me out.
I find his dismissiveness about Ray Epps just as odd as everything else around that. It's he was ready to throw Trump supporters in prison.
I don't think he's actually ready. If you were to get him in a non-pissed off mood, he's not. He doesn't actually believe that Trump supporters need to be put in prison.
Did you hear him say that?
I heard him say it. I was in Walmart at the time, and I was, but That's like not something he meant. I guarantee you that's not something he meant.
What did you guys think about the point of only 0.4% of the video being publicized, all the videos from January 6th? So for Tucker Carlson using that, he's basically saying that there's a lot of stuff that he's not showing because it would go against his narrative. But just the fact that only 0.4% has been released for the public to view, I thought was interesting. Right, and we don't know that's the reason. It could be. No, I'm not saying it is or isn't. That's just interesting. Right, and my retort back to him was, you're acting like it's that this footage that we have is. We can't take it at heart because Tucker Carlson released it and he's cherry picking, and it's like, no, but what we were getting before was cherry picked, and he's adding more context.
Okay, so the only context that Tucker Carlson releasing those videos added was that there were peaceful people there at some points in the, and I would even say it would be most points of the riot. There were peaceful people there. Like that's the only thing. It's not that those videos aren't useful for anything to figure out what actually happened in the important parts of January 6th.
Maybe, but what I think they do show, what I think it shows is that the media and the Democrats have curated a very specific, focused image of what happened there, and that's why I kept bringing up the numbers, the discrepancy between the number of people there and the actual number of people that took part in violence, which was relatively small.
But that's going to be true. That's going to be true for. Go ahead.
It does show that there are points in time where the police officers have no sense of urgency for removing these people from the building, and almost, in a sense, not even concerned that they're there. That's a strange. That to me, if I was a police officer and someone had breached the building, I wouldn't be very friendly towards the situation.
Okay, so what I've got right now is no sense of urgency from the police.
Particularly in the shaman videos that you guys were watching earlier in the stream with Destiny and Dronetek, that's an aspect of video time where the cops are not showing any sense of urgency or concern for whatever you call people that have breached the building.
Okay.
When you said shaman, do you mean when they're accompanying Jacob Chansley, kind of just nonchalantly walking?
Yeah.
With him?
Right, and opening doors and such.
Destiny argued that he got in violently. Because he got confused about what I was saying. I was saying that Chansley didn't get in violently. He walked in and then was escorted. For some reason, he kept accusing me of saying that the police let him in, and then that's not what I was saying. I was saying he didn't get in violently, which he didn't. And then he showed me that video.
Directly in front of him did.
Huh?
The people directly in front of him at that door did.
Right. But that's why he wasn't charged with any violence. He walked in behind those people, but he wasn't taking part.
Right. It's just
maybe that's a gray area that maybe both of us could have I was trying to compromise, but he wasn't. He was just into defeating me. So.
Okay. So here's the thing. All right. I'm going to start with the first point. What was it? Most people were peaceful, and that's absolutely true. But I would submit to you that is true for every single riot that has happened in the history of America. Most of the people in these riots that are in those areas are probably peaceful, and there are videos of even people in Black Lives Matter riots saying, "Why the fuck are you guys destroying our home? You guys don't have to live here," shit like that. So that's going to be true for every riot, and the media will focus on the violence on every single riot. I know in the Black Lives Matter they were like, it's mostly peaceful. They were talking about Black Lives Matter as a whole. They were not talking about any individual riot. I believe that the media did cover the riots as riots. So that's the first point.
I'm sorry. Do me a favor, real quick. Do a Google search for.
Is it the CNN picture that you're talking about?
Do what?
The CNN picture?
No, not a picture. I'm just saying, look up, see if you can Google instances of the media labeling a violent left-wing riot a riot, and not just a protest or violent protest. They almost never call it a riot. I challenge you to find some examples. You might. I've looked into this, and I found a couple random examples, just random from random agencies. But when it came to network media, I found nothing, zero. So I challenge that. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. But I would still say, even if you can find one or two, which I don't think you'll be able to, that's still what I'm saying is that it doesn't seem to matter how violent a left-wing protest, Democrat protest gets, they'll always call it a protest.
Okay, I mean that's
that's in combination now with the mostly peaceful.
So yeah, this is something that I wanted to start this debate out with. I'm going to go ahead and give you the media is biased. They are hypocrites. The left are hypocrites, and that we do all the same things also. Because I don't want to hash that out. I want to hash out whether or not January 6th was a setup by the FBI. That's what I want to hash out.
Well, it wasn't necessarily the FBI per se. I mean, they obviously played a part, but like the Capitol Police Chief, said that he believes it was set up, and he lists all the reasons. You want me to read those?
Yeah, I've already looked into that.
It's at least worth guessing the head of the snake in that argument. Then.
All right. So, do you remember the reasons which he said that it was a setup?
Yeah, he was talking about like he was pleading for National Guard, and then he pled with generals and everybody basically. Pelosi, nobody would get it for him because they said that they thought that the optics would be bad, which is weird. That's a weird response, right? And he also said that while he was giving warnings and hearing warnings about that this was going to be a big rally, everybody he told just like ignored him and blew him off. And he's like, what the hell is going on here? This is before it even happened. He's like, none of this makes sense how they're acting. And I pointed out before, like during the Trump inauguration, there was a riot and they blocked off the Capitol. So the riot never made it there, but they did end up injuring like 60 police and charges were dropped. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, he focused a lot on the, security failures of FBI and the DOH, particularly failures to pass down information to the police chief, and he cited one of these.
Failure, though.
Hold on. He cited the GAO report, which does find there were intelligence failures, but do not attribute them to malicious intent. And the GAO even calls out the Capitol Police, which he was a chief of, for not passing down information to their lower ranks. So there seemed to be like issues within the Capitol Police. And when I was doing my research on this, it just seemed like it was a bunch of agencies trying to point fingers at each other. The FBI tried to point fingers at another agency. I think the DOA actually took responsibility for their failures. But yeah, I don't think that the Capitol Police Chief saying that this seemed like a setup was a he didn't have very compelling evidence. He said he was calling for backup during, but
even before, I believe there were warnings before, and there was even I'll have to find it, but there was a report, an FBI report about all of these parking lots being rented out, and that there was all this parking lot space opening up that signaled that it was going to be huge, like a huge event. Mm-hmm. They had a lot of little warning signs that, to me, it seems like they purposely ignored.
So my question to you is, you said something about them saying that they're worried about the optics of having a kind of a more of a military.
I'd like to just interject one thing here. I know a little bit about the Capitol Police, and they are a truly shitty police organization. I mean, they are total shit. So, they if they seem like they're incompetent, they absolutely are, the most incompetent clowns around.
But this just seems all too convenient. I mean, I just told you that, like, there was a riot during Trump's inauguration, yet they saw fit for a much smaller thing, mind you. They saw fit to block off the Capitol for that.
So the reasons
they have no issues.
The reasons that I had been reading for them to have
show you what I'm talking about specifically?
Yeah. The reasons that I was reading was that there was a huge public backlash to the crackdowns on the BLM protests. There was crackdowns on the protests before they were even riots. Yes, there was.
They're specifically talking about. I think what you're specifically talking about is Lafayette Park, right?
I think that was one of them. Yeah.
Right, but do you remember what happened with that? Like the IG report that came out about that?
What did they say?
So when that happened, the media, of course, turned it into a big anti-Trump story, saying that they gassed innocent protesters with the National Guard so he could get a photo op. Remember, and he has the Bible.
Yeah. So the IG report said something about it wasn't for a photo op, right?
No, it turned out to be legitimate, and they were violent, and it was literally an attack on the White House where they had planned to get in and physically pull Trump out. That was.
Hold on, I think you're confusing two different.
Lafayette Park was an extension of the May. No, Lafayette Park was like the next morning, that night, May 29th, I think it was, or whatever, June 1st, those days. Right?
Oh, I mean, I don't remember. I got
Lafayette Park. Yeah, that's what that was.
So do you not? All right. My question to you is: do you not think that there was legitimate concerns about optics when it came to having a larger?
We're worried about optics over the security of the.
But I'm not saying it was smart. I'm asking you: do you think that there was a legitimate concern about optics?
No. I think that's absurd. And this is after the IG report had already come out saying that what the National Guard did there was legit anyway. So
okay, there was multiple instances in my research of different institutions saying that we were worried about the optics. It seems like to me that was a actual thing that they were worried about, and it did drive their decisions.
Who's worried about what optics?
So whose fault then? It's not. It seems like you're talking about everyone pointing fingers in these agencies, and now it's just one giant finger pointing at Trump.
Well, I think there's probably a lot of.
If you're talking about the security of the Capitol, that is primarily falls on the Capitol Police.
Well, what about the mayor? Doesn't the mayor play some part? And she was very hesitant.
Yeah,
they control the streets around the Capitol.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the mayor was foolish and not calling for a more.
Yes, all these odd coincidences that all come together to
wait a second.
One goal.
Donald Trump gave his defense secretary full authority to call the Capitol Police whenever he wanted. So why didn't he?
Well, the Capitol Police were there.
Capitol Police don't answer the phone from the executive branch.
No, National Guard. You're right. National Guard. Yeah. That's who I'm talking about. You're right. Yeah. He had full authority to call the National Guard, and so does Trump.
Hey, Steve, can you play that video I linked in there just real quick? It might even be at the timestamp I'm talking about, but I just wanted to know because I think it's UK reporters, and they note, I've not seen it ever noted in any other report about the Capitol being blocked off, and so...
What's the timestamp you want it at?
Well, I have it at 24. Here, let me...
24 seconds? I started watching it, so I'll just put it back to 24.
Yeah, I think it's there. I think it's at like 24 seconds. It's right around there.
Sure.
I just think it's important. I think that's an important detail.
What is the important detail?
That they blocked off the Capitol for this riot that occurred, this at Trump's inauguration. Why were they able to do that then, but not now? That makes no sense.
I mean, like I said, they had optics concerns, so they didn't have a big police presence there.
Oh, we can't secure the Capitol because of optics.
No, they said that they didn't have a big police. Nobody claimed they can't secure the Capitol.
I want you to hear what the reporter says. Hold on, Clark, he's going to play this.
Let me get the volume up.
I was actually there.
Sorry, go ahead, Last Dance.
I was at the inauguration in 2016.
Oh, cool.
In there, at it, not outside here with the you mean at it.
It's a big area.
Look at the title of this video too, by the way.
Demonstrations against the Trump presidency.
Or it says violent protests. The title of the actual video. Anyway, that's what I was talking about. It's not.
And then on the screen it says demonstration against.
Yeah.
So here, let's see what they say.
Capitol. Building.
Yeah.
Congress. So police will have sealed off that area, preventing those protesters being able to get through to the inauguration ceremony.
See, that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying right then. He was saying
Officials
the Capitol.
did say ahead of the event that they had organised or had catered for around 100 protest groups, and they were finding it difficult to do that.
This was at Trump's inauguration, right?
Where they could protest.
Do you know, if I was a partisan hack, I could totally make the narrative that, oh, well, they were heavy-handed on these people because they're left-wingers, and and there was a narrative that right-wingers don't riot, so they didn't. I'm not a partisan hack, but I'm not going to make that argument. But I just want to point out how easy it is to make these conspiratorial arguments based off of things like this.
I just look for consistency. I don't know.
Last Dance, were you aware of what was going on outside, these protests, these riots, that sort of thing?
I didn't see that violence, but everywhere I walked, there were protesters. It was.
And you said that they were heavy-handed, Chuck? You said they were heavy-handed against them? They weren't. The charges against those protesters were dropped. Protesters.
No, heavy-handed in their police presence.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, from the video we just watched, I didn't see one cop.
Yeah, that's that particular footage. There's other footage where you can see more of where they're fighting with riot police and.
Okay, but there's plenty of footage like that for January 6th too. Okay.
Literally the only footage that exists of Republicans rioting with police. It's it. That's it.
Okay, so
one time it happened.
Okay, all right. Here's a quote
for years on end.
Yeah. So now you're getting into whether or not Republicans riot, which versus left-wing people riot. Which, by the way, goes into the conspiracy that I just brought up. That I said it would be so easy for me to make based off of information that you're giving to me. So I think it's really funny that you're feeding into a conspiracy that I just admitted is conspiracy. Anyways, I want to read this quote from the piece that you sent me about the Capitol Police Chief, who said that it was a setup. So here it is. Sun got approval to bring the National Guard at 2:10 p.m., which, by the way, is way after everything went down, at least an hour after. Before his approval, he alleged that he begged several generals, and these aren't these are people under Trump, including General Mike Flynn, somebody that Trump appointed, and still is an avid Trump supporter to this day, I believe, to bring National Guard. The officials apparently told Sun they did not like the optics of the National Guard. So that means that even Michael Flynn has that in his head. He allegedly begged for their assistance to intervene. So my question to you is, if this was some big setup, why would avid Trump supporter, QAnon hero Mike Flynn not send in a National Guard to make things look better, make things better?
I don't even think he was in the administration at that point.
He was the. Hold on.
Yeah, was Flynn still a general? I saw that in the article, and I had to start thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, was Flynn still general at that point?
No, he wasn't a general then.
He was long gone at that point.
I don't even think he was in the administration at that point.
Yeah, hadn't he already been prosecuted and everything at that point?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that I was wondering about that.
Well, we can look this up. This is we're not going to go with this as the
I thought of this one when it came up with Destiny. He read it, and I'm like, he read it after I left, and I was watching his stream, and he read that part, and I'm like, wait, what? Michael Flynn was gone. Here, I'm looking that up right now. Michael Flynn. He was in office from, he left in 2017, so he wasn't, that's a typo or something.
He was there.
Well, I mean, that's from your source, so that was a source.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't know what that means, man. You know what it is the guy, he was talking and he said Michael Flynn, but he didn't mean Michael Flynn.
Well, it could have been that he actually asked Michael Flynn, and because Michael Flynn has the ear of Trump. So who did Trump delegate National Guard 2 and 6?
thought it was Pelosi who was in charge of them.
No, it's that was as far my understanding of that was fake news. Donald Trump has authority over the National Guard in D.C. and he delegated those. He basically told, I think it's his Attorney General, one in his cabinet, that they could call the National Guard anytime they want.
Right.
Before everything went down.
I thought the Speaker of the House had some authority to that at the time. Was her?
No, I don't think she has any authority at all.
At the time, any Speaker of the House at any time?
No one in Congress has any authority over the National Guard at all.
Then that was completely fake news then. That seemed to be very...
Yeah, I know. I saw that too.
Everywhere at the time.
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now.
That's one of the reasons why there exists a Capitol Police. For separation of powers reasons, the Congress has their own police force.
So
control.
Look at this. So there's a CNN. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm bad about that. Sorry, Last Dance. Go ahead.
No, you didn't cut me off. I was done.
Okay. Well, yeah. According to CNN, so it says on Monday evening, McCarthy went on Fox News claiming Pelosi removed the Guard members after criticizing Pelosi's opposition to the use of federal forces during last summer's riots and protests. McCarthy claimed that after the inaugural, when these National Guard, these men and women defending us sitting in the Capitol, she was kicking them out into the winter. So this is the conclusion is while the exact decision-making chain of events remains unclear, which is weird, again, another weird thing, CNN has seen no evidence that Pelosi was involved in removing the Guard members from the Capitol building.
Now, I think...
Wait, was that a Jan 6 thing?
I believe Pelosi can kick them out. That, I think, is true. She just can't order them in.
All right, so, yeah, apparently it was Miller. What's his first name? Christopher Miller, that Donald Trump basically said, do whatever is necessary to protect demonstrators that were executing their constitutionally protected rights, basically giving him the authority to call in the National Guard if he wanted to. But there is a little tidbit in this about him asking if the mayor of D.C. requested any. And he told him to fill the order if she does, but I don't think she actually ended up requesting.
Okay, so here I have something recent from May, well, sort of recent.
Right. But my point to this is that, like, people under Trump had the authority to call in the National Guard. People who aren't rhinos, they aren't Democrats, they're just looking to make Trumples look bad, and they didn't. So why is that? Trump also had the authority. And he seemed like he wanted to.
No, so yeah, it looks like he made the request and he granted it. It was the request of the mayor. Trump approved it, and then they were gathered and then never authorized to go to the Capitol. And it says the authority was at the hands of Nancy Pelosi. Why didn't she authorize? And this is from what's his face? I forget his name. But you can put the link in there.
Let's see.
Okay, so that's slightly different.
She's testified in this hearing, but there were a couple of conditions placed on them by the Army, which they complied with. To move the Guard would require authorization, which they never got.
Okay, that makes sense.
It says D.C. Mayor Bowser issued a letter.
Like a car park. They weren't even given anywhere to sleep. Was that same night?
Oh yeah, I think so. I forgot about that. This says D.C. Mayor Bowser issued a letter to top government agencies saying that her police department would completely responsibly for this person typed about the security on J6. Any agency who wanted to cross that needed advance permission from her. So and they got a letter here where it's in the letter that she had to authorize it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's murky, and part of the problem for that is our media, who very picky and choosy about what they'll say
and what they'll investigate. Yeah.
Right, exactly. They become investigative journalists as long as it's like to their ends. If not, suddenly they're like, I see nothing, no evidence.
Now, Pluck, when you had mentioned the FBI in your original debate subject matter, didn't you?
The FBI. This was about the part where the FBI failed to pass down information that they were gathering when it came to the threat assessments. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, what about it?
So how does that come into play here with what we're talking about?
So, when there was investigations done on these things, it seemed like there was a lot of finger pointing. The FBI was blaming the other agencies. They also had some other things that they said. Let's see. It's talking about tunnels. Nothing illegal about it. But the DHS, I believe, took the most responsibility for themselves.
The delivery company?
Huh?
No, I'm just being a dick. Go ahead.
And the Capitol Police tend to blame the other federal agencies. And it's not surprising to me that, like, the leader of an agency that, you know, was a part of protecting the Capitol would try and get heat off of them by blaming other agencies, just like the FBI is trying to blame other things. I do not think that the Capitol Police saying this was a setup is very strong evidence, because he would have reason to want to not take any blame for what happened on January 6th.
He has a vested interest in passing the buck.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
It seems pretty damning, or I don't know what the right word is. If one individual called in National Guard and it was sitting outside the perimeter because they weren't given permission to come in, and that person is then blamed for the event, it seems like conflicting. It seems conflicting.
Yeah, so that seems like something that the Capitol Police was supposed to do. It's a Military Times, which I'm guessing is a source that you guys would probably trust. Simply put, the National Guard only shows up to D.C. when they've been invited, and the Capitol Police did not extend that invitation until after the breach, according to a source with knowledge of the process, who was not authorized to speak about it on the record. So, yeah.
I mean, the Capitol Police would never make that decision on their own. They would defer that decision to, like, the Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House was on the phone trying to get, like, there's video of that, trying to get help to the Capitol. With,
wouldn't she know that she could have easily said, bring them in?
I have no idea what she knew or didn't know at the time.
I would hope that Pelosi knew that the National Guard was sitting a mile away.
So is the claim that they were standing by waiting for permission from the Pelosi to enter the Capitol? Was that the claim?
The claim that he just shared in the back chat, yeah.
No. Hold on. Okay. Based on what I just read, it seemed like they were waiting on the Capitol Police, but you're telling me that the Capitol Police wouldn't make that decision without Nancy Pelosi, so I'm going to look that up.
Are we talking the National Guard with M16s and loaded magazines?
They were loaded.
Well,
when they were showing video of them sleeping in that car rise park, I remember them having all their gear.
So conceivably, if they were there on January 6th, possibly more people would have died.
I mean, that's an argument you could make.
Or they would have had enough of a presence that people wouldn't have even attempted to cross the barrier. Yeah.
So here's one from AP. I don't have access. How do I get to show chat? When I press show chat, it doesn't show up. Does it not show up when I'm in full screen?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, full screen? No, you won't see the chat.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Here's one from the AP. Full screen just looks so much better on stream. I'll read this out. Claim: House Speaker Nancy Pelosi blocked the National Guard from coming to the Capitol. AP's assessment: false. As Speaker of the House, Pelosi does not direct the National Guard. Further, as Capitol came under attack, she and Senate Majority Leader called for military assistance, including the National Guard. Like
that's now. I wanted to clarify what the authorities are here. So Pelosi controls the Capitol and the Capitol grounds. Mm-hmm. The executive branch controls government properties in general. The D.C. police control the streets around the Capitol. So the president can order the National Guard to do something, but he can't order them to enter the Capitol. He has to have Pelosi's agreement to do that.
Wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute.
Pelosi can't order the National Guard to do anything. She can, if the president has offered the use of the National Guard to Pelosi, and Pelosi allows them to enter the building, then they can enter the building. But
right. So, do you think that it's that the Speaker of the House typically is involved in decisions like that, or do you think that it might be the case that she delegates those decisions to the Capitol's police chief?
I think routine decisions are delegated to the police chief, but letting the National Guard enter the grounds of the Capitol, I don't believe they would be.
So does the police chief, and Dronetek, you should be able to answer.
Scenario.
Yeah, so Dronetek should be able to answer this. Did the police chief say anything about asking Nancy Pelosi or needing her permission to get the National Guard in?
Well, I'm reading this article, and it's just typical partisanry, masked as straight news. It comes if you get down here at the bottom, it's like Republicans have falsely laid the blame on Pelosi without mentioning that GOP leader McConnell also had similar authority. So all they're saying is oh no, it's not Pelosi's fault because it could have been McConnell's fault too. But they didn't blame McConnell. Of course, we're not blaming Pelosi. We're blaming McConnell. It's just typical partisan bullshit. So Pelosi did have the authority to do it.
Well, she did. Wait. She did try to call on the National Guard.
And the Sergeant at Arms reports to her. So they're saying the Sergeant at Arms is the one who does it, yet the Sergeant at Arms reports to Pelosi. Right.
The Sergeant at Arms.
This is just bullshit spin, this article.
So wait, the Sergeant at Arms, where do they fall on the pecking order compared to the police chief?
Sergeant at Arms.
It goes Pelosi, Sergeant at Arms, then police chief?
Pelosi and McConnell, Sergeant at Arms, and the other one, the
police chief?
No.
The whip?
The House. No, I'm sorry. The House and Senate Sergeant of Arms. One reports to Pelosi, the other one McConnell. So
okay, and then the police chief.
That if Pelosi's to blame, so is McConnell. Fine, I'll do that. But this article saying she's being falsely accused. They always use language like that when they're defending. It's been widely debunked and shit like that. Yet you'll never find an article where they're defending Republicans like that.
Let's go with the timeline though. Let's just back up with the timeline. Earlier in that day, before the breach of the building, the option was put on the table. We have the National Guard. We want to bring them in. And then someone says, no, don't do it. And then that same person later, when they've breached the building and she's in the center of the building scared, is then calling them and saying, hey, can you guys come over here and help us out? Is that basically what happened?
Potentially, but she wouldn't have had the foresight to know that where they were going to get to.
The fact is,
even with all of the people that job it is to assess risk.
Yeah, I mean, I think the National Guard being there would have made a huge difference. If they all set up way before any of the shit started, I don't think much would have happened.
Exactly.
If they showed up when it was already going down, they might have ended up killing a lot of people who probably ended up maybe getting some jail time. But, it's a fine line, I can understand not calling them in once it was underway, in a sense that you might think it would cause a lot more violence than might occur. I don't know. It's a hard call, It's but yeah, if they were there from Jump Street, I think that would have been we wouldn't be really discussing it.
There's really no reason why.
Right, and you're looking at a simple logic and a risk assessment that would have had to have been on the table, and someone denied that risk assessment and said, "Don't worry about it."
So apparently, there is a Capitol Police Board that approves.
That's the Sergeant at Arms. That's the Senate, and that's who that is. That's the Senate Sergeant at Arms and the House Sergeant at Arms, and they report to Pelosi and McConnell. I don't know. It seems like it's very murky, the whole thing.
So who's
we're
that
supposed
now?
to believe that all these professionals all dropped the ball, which I get it. Like,
What?
I don't know. It just seems unlikely to me when everybody knew that this was coming.
Well, but why would they have expected? I mean, I hate to say this, but no one would really expect a bunch of Republicans to have a violent riot. They just wouldn't have expected it.
That is the
There was
exact
nothing
thing.
said before that. There was no people talking about that beforehand. That was going to get out of hand.
Oh no, absolutely. Hold on, absolutely there was.
They knew the Oath Keepers and stuff were showing up, right? Did they not think that?
Wait, hold on. So a part of the FBI's intelligence failure was a failure to share quotes from, and I've got a bunch of them. Goodness gracious. Oh goodness, y'all continue talking. When I find them in this document, I will let you know.
I think there's an implication here from RW, and that these were Trump supporters, and that the person who told didn't want the National Guard to be there wanted some shit to go down to shine negatively on Trump and his supporters. Is that what you're kind of beating around?
I am more than happy to make that as my statement. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
And the questions that I'm asking because logically, if you had knowledge and information, and I know that they do, they have people under them that are constantly looking for data to present, to always know what to do. And so if you have 100,000 or more people coming and you have information that says it will get rowdy, the percent chance of it becoming rowdy is over 75%, and you don't set up Jump Street, that is illogical to me. I don't care if it sends the bad message. I disagree in how they did many things, and if I had the option, I would have done it very differently, despite how it looks to the whole globe.
Yeah, so you're saying with wings of wax, Nancy Pelosi danced a little too close to the sun, meaning like she maybe didn't think it would get to the level that it got if it was her who.
I'm not saying that.
I'm more like saying that. That's what I'm saying.
I 120% agree that the idea that bad optics would stop you from prioritizing security was stupid. I think that everyone that said that should probably lose their jobs, including the mayor and sergeant of arms who resigned after January 6th anyways. There was a part of the FBI and DHS failure was failure to share information, such as social media posts that said things like, this is where we infiltrate. And when our elected representatives try to flee, they were emerge out of these endpoints, talking about the tunnels that they would be coming out of. What else is there? So talk about the tunnels. Without it being very specific violence towards the tunnels, we can't take action or do that next step. That was people's First Amendments. There's some other ones I have sprinkled throughout here, but yeah, there was something about killing them. The representatives. So there were Chappelle claims he came to believe that target law enforcement and kill them. That was a different thing. Never mind.
So this is data that the FBI had sitting that they didn't share. Is that what you're giving us now?
Yeah. So they didn't share this with like other agencies. The FBI and DHS both had information like this and didn't share it. That was like a part of the security failures that the investigations pointed out. But they also pointed out that the Capitol Police, the guy who is saying that this seems like a setup, didn't share information with his lower ranks either. Let alone information between agencies. Yeah,
really, he didn't, because during his interview he made it sound like he was trying to share information, but there was nobody there to share it with.
No, like information within the Capitol Police force itself. That's what the
He acts like he knew what was up. I don't know. In the interview I saw with Tucker, he acts like he knew what was coming and everybody ignored him.
Who's he again?
That's Stewart or whatever his name is, the Capitol Police Chief.
Well, yeah, I think he was showing, rightfully so, more concern about the security and the risk that these protesters were going to provide than the rest of the agencies. But I don't think that these agencies were showing this lack of concern in an effort to kind of bait right-wingers into breaking into the Capitol.
I don't know. It seems like a honeypot of propaganda that they've used from the beginning. I mean, think of all the lies they told right off the bat, myths that continue to this day about like multiple police killed and things like that. And they started that from day one.
Whenever you are covering breaking news, there will always be misinformation put out there. That's just the nature of covering breaking news.
They still make Biden like just said that. Like,
yeah, I hear.
But Biden isn't the FBI.
That lady in Maine who just took Trump off the ballot she said something along those lines.
Okay, so the lady in Maine isn't the FBI, and she doesn't have anything to do with January 6th.
But my point is that the myths that the media created surrounding this perpetuate to this day.
I mean, yeah, sure, the media is irresponsible when they cover breaking news. This is something I've agreed with you on since Jacob Blake.
Right, but my point is that right, and it is similar to that, isn't it? Almost like this is a playbook or something.
No, it's almost like we have a system that perpetuates these things because the media has a incentive to be sensational because that's how they make their money.
Right. If that's true, show me when this happens to the Democrats or to the other side. Anytime this sort of thing happens, it's always against Republicans. I know I talk in absolutes, but sorry.
Do we need to wrap something up?
No, I'm just saying it's my boy, Base Welshman.
Okay. Before you disappear. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm not disappearing yet. But Cluck, yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to go around researching. But what do you want to see? Sensational things happening against Democrats?
Well, no. Like you're like they just made a mistake. It's an accident. But every time this sort of like accident mistake happens, it always. Anytime I can think of it, it's always something that hurts.
Dronetek, one day I will do that. I will do that research for you. I will.
It's similar to the protest thing. Did you look for that? You probably not, but do it.
I'm not going to look for things in the middle of this debate that's not relevant to the topic that we agreed on. I will look for these things later on.
Hey, Mr. Kelsey.
It sort of it goes to my argument that none of what we've heard from the mainstream or the government really about January 6th can be taken at face value.
Can I ask? I know you guys are going to go on this point more, but did anyone pay attention to California and Newsom saying that on January 1st that they're going to be giving free healthcare to illegal immigrants?
Oh yes, yeah.
Illegal immigrants already get free healthcare if they go to the hospital.
For certain things.
You can go to the hospital for anything.
Well, no, it's different now. It's just like blanket coverage. I'm just curious if, like, to me, that's like a powder keg move. I think that's going to really rock the boat and tax ways and civil unrest because that was never voted upon. I think that was it was a very casual article that I came across. It wasn't a really big deal. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my God.
Well, they were giving them $5,000 credit, money cards at the border as well. There was reports about that. What's the point of being a citizen, honestly? Because it seems like it'd be a better option if we just renounce our citizenship, leave the country, and then just come back in through the border again.
At least if you have to go to the hospital.
Just put your foot in the Rio Grande and then say you're
right. Like I renounce my citizenship, go just cross the road, come back.
Can we identify it?
Last dance. That's exactly what we say in the UK for a dentist appointment. We'll arrive on the beach at Dover and we'll get a dentist appointment straight away.
So, Dronetek, you want examples of the media being sensational and wrong against Democrats, and you want examples of the media calling left-wing riots. Is that what you need?
Yeah.
Okay. I will look into that.
You were saying to all these different things that keep popping up. Oh, all these professionals just dropped the ball. Oh, the media just dropped the ball and got destroyed. I'm saying these things are all intentional, not accidents. And part of the evidence of that is that it only happens one way.
I can't.
Like, I'll give you some examples. The Covington kids. Every story they got wrong. Rush Limbaugh, he came up with a term called the drive-by media. That's exactly what he's talking about.
You're saying that it only happens one way, But I'll only give you that for the majority of mainstream media, because even on mainstream media, there's Fox and like Newsmax that will then do the opposite spin.
Sure, you're right. I know I speak in such absolutes, but
right, and it's against.
When I talk about the media, I am wrongly not including them, but fair enough.
Okay. So, Cap, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on the motives of the Capitol Police Chief when he was saying that that it was a setup.
You can never really know, you know. I mean, it's
but
like
you can't. I just think that it's much more likely that he's just trying to pass the buck, just like every other agency did.
Yeah, that dollar's been moving around a lot lately.
Well, I mean, is that what they're doing to Trump? That's why that's one thing where I think Ray Epps, the whole Ray Epps thing, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not that he's working for any agency or anything. Maybe it's just that he's the guy that managed to incite this small handful of people. Well, it's over 372 people, but compared to the gigantic 120K group, right? That's a small chunk that I think he is totally capable of having incited. Destiny was calling me an idiot for saying that, but it's like if what Trump was said incited it, I would expect a much larger riot. You know what I mean?
Okay, so do you want to talk about this idea that you brought up on your debate, your stream about this topic? They were letting people in. Could you give me like a little bit of?
Yeah, I mean, there's videos that you can see of Capitol Police removing barricades. Okay, these big barricades and literally waving people in. There's lots of those. There's not a lot, 2 or 3 of them. There's a couple. Where there's a big mob outside and the police just open the door and get out of the way and let them walk in.
Was that the one? Was that the one with the garage door raising up?
That's one of them, yeah. Isn't that the door? There was a bunch of controversy about that door, I remember, too, because people were saying, like, there's something about that door that was weird. I don't know if that ever got resolved, but that it could only be opened in a certain office, and that the fact that it was open showed that it was open on purpose to let these people in.
Okay. So I read up on the garage door thing. I don't think I have the links here, but
is that what I'm talking about?
I have no idea if what I read was that they opened that door to let police officers out, because there was officers waiting to get to different locations.
Giant there. Garage door.
I mean,
another like that. It just seems like I don't buy it.
Well, of course you're not going to buy it, but it's a completely you said that they were letting down barricades. All the videos of them letting down barricades. This was after those barricades were breached, and when you see officers, yes, absolutely, yes.
Let me show you one. Why is he waving them in?
He's waving in other police officers.
I mean, it's just there's all these different. I mean, that could be possible, I suppose. But I mean, how do we know that?
Because there's video from other angles that show that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can buy it. I'm willing to be wrong about this. Okay, I definitely.
All right, show me the video.
All right, I'm looking for it.
Well, there was a lot of video released recently, wasn't there? And it literally. I mean, I released the video on my YouTube channel saying it was a tour guide because it looked like a tour guide. I mean, obviously they had selected parts to suit the narrative, but there was certainly plenty of footage of people just wandering around with police there and just allowing it, and in fact guiding them.
So after the Capitol was breached and the Capitol Police was overwhelmed, there was a effort to de-escalate people that were already in there. So they're not going to be pepper spraying and fighting these huge crowds of people.
Well, there was no need. That's right, because no one was kicking off.
Is your claim that nobody was quote unquote kicking off inside the Capitol?
Well, there was no one kicking off in the footage we seen. It was all chilled out. There was no ripping of anything inside. I mean, obviously there was in parts, but the footage that was released recently, it doesn't look like that at all in certain parts. And
and the police was trying to keep it.
There was lunatics there, and I would love to find out, in fact, who all those lunatics were. But there was lunatics there.
Okay.
The vast majority of the people who entered were just entered. trespass.
Yeah, okay, but my point is that these videos that you are calling tours are just the police trying to keep things de-escalated. They're trying to keep it de-escalated because if they were to try and do what they actually want to have happen, them getting out of the Capitol by force, they would quickly get overrun and anger the mob.
Okay,
or the
well,
crowd.
you're right. Hey, I'm gonna have to give this one to Cluck. He's right about that. The barricade footage I had seen. He's right about that. Just because I don't know about if he's waving a police officer, but they're definitely moving the barricades, and the police that are staying there are definitely trying to put them back. So yeah, I was wrong about that one. There's so many of these videos; it's hard to keep track of them all.
Here,
I'll post this one.
Yeah, you got him.
Hey, I mean, like I said, I'm open to being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, the Ray Epps thing is the other big clanger, isn't it? You know, you avoid the guy. You avoid the guy for 2 years. Completely say that the Republicans and the far right are trying to make him as a scapegoat. But in the reality, he said it more than once, and he said it on more than one day. Let's storm the Capitol. But totally ignored, and eventually,
wait, I would love to see
let me finish. Eventually, when you pick up on him, or the Democrats pick up, they do him on a misdemeanor, and like ta-da, mate. There's other people that are doing like 5-6 years for trespassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when he says that, at one point, somebody nearby to him starts saying like, no, don't listen to him. Some other people start yelling, Fed.
Based Alaska.
Yeah, Bake Alaska was calling him a Fed for saying to go into the Capitol, and then the next day, Bake Alaska went into the Capitol. So I don't really know what the hell why you're giving that guy any credibility whatsoever.
Look, all right, I'm a live streamer. He's a live streamer. I remember him from years back. I tell you what. One thing I watched from there is that I would never repeat the same thing. And it wasn't too long ago when I went into an open premises and I ended up getting arrested for going into an open premises. So I fell trapped to that as well. You know, if that's what you do and you live stream for a living, or you live stream because it's something you like, then you can fall into that trap by going on the premises that you shouldn't be on. But it doesn't make you out to be a riot, does it?
Yeah.
But
I don't know what Bake Alaska.
But you can't beat trespasser.
Yeah, you can get caught up in it, but you can't make it out.
I'm just saying that, like, I don't know why you're giving him any credibility when he was calling Ray Epps a Fed for telling him to do the thing that he was doing. Anyways, I don't think there's. You prove me wrong, but I don't think there's any video of Ray Epps telling people to go into the Capitol on January 6th. That was all that happened in that one little moment in January 5th. And also, I want to point this out because you guys you hinge on this whole Trump said to be peaceful. Trump said to be peaceful. Well, so did Ray Epps. Ray Epps said to be peaceful multiple times, and there was even testimony of people. I'm not going to say people. Somebody.
He also said storm the Capitol.
There's also video of him saying There's testimony of somebody testifying that Ray Epps was telling him to calm down and to be peaceful.
I have a question, though. You're saying that because Ray Epps did something on January 5th, and he didn't actually do it again on January 6th, that's an okay situation?
No. I think that Ray Epps saying that we need to go into the Capitol is not proof that he's a Fed.
It doesn't look good for him.
No, I don't think it's proof that he's a Fed.
Definitely not proof.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Good, we're on the same page.
It's also not necessarily illegal to say it on January 5th.
It might be illegal because you're telling people to trespass. You're telling people to break a law, but you're not. You're actually not telling people. You're also telling people to be civil, which is probably why his charges were so low, because he wasn't telling people to be violent. He was telling people to just go into the Capitol, which would be trespass.
So
and actually, was the Capitol even blocked off on the 5th, or was it open to the public?
He was talking about the following day. We're going.
That might be true. He might have been saying we need to go in tomorrow when it would be blocked off. But then he's got reasonable doubt when he says, "Well, I didn't know it was going to be blocked off that day." Like,
I have a question. If someone says all year long, go do this every day for a whole year. Let's say they did it for a whole year, but on the day that it happened, they said, "No, don't do it."
Was it Ray Epps saying to go into the Capitol and be violent?
As a morality.
Like, morally, Ray Epps was in the wrong. Absolutely. What I'm trying to explain is the reasoning why, one, he wasn't a very high-value target for the FBI, and two, why he got such a light sentence.
I mean, wait, but that makes no sense. Again, he's telling people to enter and storm the Capitol, both of those things.
He's telling people to...
He even says at one point, I'm going to go to jail for this probably, but we need to go into the Capitol.
Yeah, so he's telling people to go into the Capitol on January 5th when nobody went into the Capitol and was violent.
And then we're supposed to believe...
I maintain that is not illegal.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I don't know the legality of that.
To me, that's inciting a riot. Especially, and again, Destiny would completely dismiss this point, but he admits to orchestrating it, like
to his nephew. Yeah. Okay, right. My question to you is: if Ray Epps is this mastermind FBI informant that's able to convince all
mastermind, didn't say mastermind.
Okay, but he was able to convince an awful lot of our right wingers just so.
He's a plant.
Okay, are right wingers just so fucking feeble-minded that they were able to be convinced by this guy who was dumb enough to be an FBI informant or a plant, and then brag about it to his nephew?
Yeah, I have to say yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, because literally, Jake Alaska is the guy that called him out as a Fed and then proceeded to enter the Capitol.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I think that right wingers tend to be not very intelligent or logically inclined myself. So we agree on this, Dronetek.
Not exclusively.
Present company excluded, of course.
I see. I run into a lot of dumb left wingers. So.
I mean, I looked into this for a while, and then when I watched the 60 Minutes interview done by I was never more convinced that he was involved third hand. Either he is FBI, I don't believe he is, or he's working on behalf of FBI by someone else. Ray Epps and that interview, the whole 60 Minutes interview, I mean, if nothing else would tell you that was all stitched up, that interview would have told you it. It was just ridiculous.
Okay.
But then what do you expect? I don't really expect anything different these days.
So, y'all don't have any proof that Ray Epps is an FBI agent, except for
We'll never have it. We'll never have it. That, to me, the most damning thing is just that the barrage of, venom and bloodlust for anybody associated with J6, unless it's Ray Epps. Apart from this guy. Narrative. He's a victim. It's a conspiracy theory. The Democrats play dumb. Then they know who he is, and he's done nothing wrong. And it's weird. It doesn't make any sense. And the fact that for multiple years there, no charges, no interest, and then they give him this little slap on the wrist misdemeanor for the cameras. It's just
slap on the wrist misdemeanor because he didn't actually really do anything that's worthy of being charged.
Hold on,
what was he charged? He didn't incite anything. Nothing happened when he said to go into the Capitol.
I think that it's a possibility he's just a regular guy. He's not a government informant, but he is the guy that managed to incite this group. And if he's the guy that did it, you can't blame Trump.
I don't think he incited anything. As a matter of fact, wait, hold on. The quote
didn't incite anything. We're gonna storm the Capitol.
Who stormed the Capitol after he said that?
What?
I'm mostly going to go to prison for this.
Who stormed the Capitol as a result of Ray Epps?
Huh?
Who stormed the Capitol as a result of Ray Epps?
Well, he was in one of the first charges to break through the stupid barriers lower down.
Wait, but who stormed the Capitol?
In fact, there's footage. There is footage of it where he speaks in someone's ear. 2 seconds after he speaks in some lad's ear, the barrier goes down by this lad.
Right. Anyone know who that is?
It's Professor Snipes in a wig and MAGA hat.
No, that's Libs of TikTok.
Yep, she was there.
I was there too.
You were there?
Yeah.
So he was part of the insurrection.
Yes, absolutely part of it. I was going to go in, but I didn't.
No comments. Always no comments. It's different with the FBI, isn't it? You can't get that.
So let me say one thing about incitement. In the United States, the First Amendment protects your right to say just about anything. And it doesn't, in order to be guilty of legal incitement, in order for your speech not to be protected, it has to be it has to be involving imminent lawless action. So something a day later does not count as imminent. So whatever he said on January 5th is probably not legally
Well, he said it on 6th. He was doing it on 6th, too.
Well, I was just going by what Liberal Cluck said.
Yeah, I thought he repeated the statement over 2 days.
Where's the video? I want the video of him saying it on the 6th.
Is that correct, Ryan? He repeated the statement over a 2-day period?
Yeah.
I'll admit that I'm wrong about him only saying it on the 5th when I see the video of him doing it on the 6th. Because the only video I ever saw.
The daytime video is on the 6th, isn't it? The daytime video of him out on the street.
Well, just find it and link it. Like.
Okay. Well, it's just the footage. We all have them. There's nighttime footage from the 5th, and then the next footage after that is daytime footage. So I always assume that was the next day.
Cluck, what was he actually charged with?
Well, Ray Epps charges? I didn't do any Ray Epps research. I'll
tell you. It's a misdemeanor. Hold on. I think it was trespassing or being on government grounds or something. Let me see here.
We're not being invited.
It was as slappy on the wristy as you can get.
It was probably all he was guilty of. If he did say on the 6th,
disorderly or disruptive conduct on restricted grounds is what it is.
Okay, so he was actually on the Capitol grounds.
Right.
Okay.
So there's people who spent many years in prison for not being on the Capitol grounds, wasn't there?
He's not going to go to prison now. There's no prison time.
Is Samso the guy that hold on. Let me get his first name. Find his first name. Samso. Mr. Samso. Mr. Samso.
Will Samso?
Is he talking about Sansol?
No, not Samso.
I think he was there.
Was Sansol there?
I thought about going. I thought about it, and I'm like,
I feel like he said he was. The guy's kind of a journalist, right?
Sonisol? Yeah, I guess so.
All right, Ryan Samso. Is he the guy that you're talking about that Ray Epps was whispering to tell him to tear down the barricade?
I know. He whispered to him not to go through the barricades or whatever. But I always laugh at that because I'm like,
I was talking to Base Welshman because he's the one that made the claim.
That's what he said. That's what Ray Epps says. That he told him not to join a riot and don't riot.
Yeah, and apparently Mr. Samso said that a man that he didn't know came up to him and whispered to calm down or whatever.
Right,
so
but
it checks out.
He had trespassed that land with that chap. They were next to each other, running through. So what you're telling me when they got to the barrier, he said, "Oh, don't push through the barrier, then, pal. Just stop by here."
Right, he whispers in one guy's ear not to go.
What's your theory? What's your theory about why this guy was testifying that that's what happened?
Well,
he's out of trouble. I don't know.
By protecting Ray Epps.
The thing is, if Ray Epps didn't want him or anyone else to encroach the grounds, then what is Ray Epps doing, running beside him, already breaching grounds?
You said that he whispered this when they first took down the first barricade.
Yeah. Well, from the footage you could see, he whispered into someone's ear, and as soon as he whispers into that man's ear, the barrier went down via this man. So even if he did tell him not to do anything, the barrier went down.
Yeah, it didn't work, but this seems like proof that Ray Epps wasn't intending on having a riot of people going into the Capitol.
Well. But by him being next door to him when they're actively breaching the Capitol ground barriers.
Did Ray Epps go onto the grounds?
Between public area. Between public area and sort of restricted government area, which is where they were breaching.
There's a video where they're pushing like this giant Trump sign or something up towards the barrier, and he's there helping.
Well, was that on the grounds of where they were supposed to?
On the grounds, on the steps, On the steps.
For just being some random dude that doesn't matter, man. He's sure is pretty pivotal to the debate.
He's like at the front, pacing up and down the line like the whole time.
No, I mean, just like all the little groups around the whole world that are having these types of conversations about this guy and going back and forth on the information about this guy that is,
that's because
is definitely guilty of stuff, but is getting kind of a slap on the wrist treatment. It's just strange. It's just
okay. It's not strange because there's about 30% of the country who has come up with this conspiracy around him to try and weigh as a part of their effort. Hold on.
Questions without good answers is what it is. It's
coming up with a conspiracy.
We're simply saying he did these things and is being treated differently, and it makes no sense.
Well, he's being treated differently. There's testimony of one of the guys, the first guys that broke down the barricade. There's testimony of him saying that Ray Epps was telling him to calm down. And when he was saying storm the Capitol and all that, he was saying peacefully.
If I spend several days inciting a riot, and just before it starts, I tell one guy in his ear whispering to calm down.
But he wasn't inciting a riot.
The problem is calm down was code word for breach.
I mean, is that like I become a Christian right before I die and I'm good to go?
So the Capitol.
Hey, hopefully that works, Drone-Tech.
The Capitol.
You try it.
So liberal. Did we just get this out there, right? So they avoided him. He was ID'd within days. Okay, he was on the FBI list at the start, and he got wiped off after 24 hours. He was ID'd, I think.
You know the reason for that, right?
By the public. Well, no. Well, I'm just telling you the timeline.
Yeah, but you know the reason why he was taken off the list, right?
Well, let me just give you the timeline. All right, so
okay,
just give you the timeline.
You're going to give me a timeline that looks suspicious, but then I'm going to have to add all this context to really.
Well, you can add the context. So he was avoided. He was avoided for about 2 years. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Ryan. So we knew who he was. So he was, and everyone was talking about this chap because there's footage of him talking shit, right? Talking crazy shit that no one else has talked about. But this guy, this 6'4" guy, seems to be like proud as punch, talking shit. He's avoided for 2 years. Everyone else is nicked, including the 80-year-old women that basically wobbled on the fucking grounds. Wobbled on the grounds with the walking sticks. They've all been convicted. They're all being served up for like stupid things, maybe even 4 years, 3 years, 70-year-old people. This is retarded, right? Okay. Especially if they were non-violent. If they just trespass, and these sort of sentences are crazy. And this twat was avoided for 2 years, and then when he was picked up, he's given a slap. This is nonsense.
All right, so let me paint this picture because this is based off of the things that happened. Ray Epps, the day before the January 6th break-in in the Capitol, was telling people that we need to go into the Capitol, which is a common thing that peaceful protesters do all of the time.
He said storm the Capitol.
But he said,
why would you even say that? Like Cluck, why would you even say that, dude?
Why would I say what?
What? Come on, man.
It's storm, isn't it?
It's something that people do, so anyway.
Do we not have protesters inside the Capitol all the time?
Ryan, was it storm? Should we just get this ironed out? Because I don't like the way, because unless I'm wrong here, I specifically remember him saying we need to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, I just put a link in the thing if you want to see it.
So let's get it right, liberal, because what you say and what the reality was is different there, and it makes a big difference.
Well, it also makes a difference when he said that.
He said it the night before.
I know you keep on saying it. Did he say it twice? We get a confusion of whether it was 2 days or 1 day.
All right, hey, I'm going to mute you guys so I can listen to this. How the hell do I mute you guys?
Said it, period, and then it's like, but a lot of people do that, so it doesn't matter. Like that's how it came across to me.
Well, that's not what I meant. But anyways, can I not mute you guys on this? Can I not deafen?
I don't know. There's a button to mute everybody.
That's what I was just talking about. I want to listen to this clip I found.
Yeah, all right. So
YouTube.
Everyone, just be quiet for like a minute.
Yes, Steve.
But we can't mute.
21 seconds. I just need 21 seconds.
Right?
Oh wait, never mind. I'll just take my headphones off.
There you go.
There's footage of Ray Epps.
Yeah, but wait. Yeah, you can mute him.
You can mute him. I didn't.
But I was just,
no, that
that's
doesn't
funny.
help him.
But I was just, it works for this purpose, but I can't mute the audio in my ears from you guys and listen to another tab on YouTube which is pretty stupid.
Muting him doesn't help, though, Steve. Muting him makes it so that he can't talk, but he can still hear us.
No, he knows that. Steve is saying he can't do what Liberal Cluck wants to do.
Right.
So Liberals fact-checking this now, is he?
What am I fact-checking?
He's just watching it. He's absorbing it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely says it more than once.
Yeah, so that was
more
like
than one occasion.
Okay. He mostly said we got to go into the Capitol.
Okay.
But then he said to some people storm the Capitol. But
no, well, he said to that one guy that we're here to storm the Capitol.
He's telling him his intentions. He's like, this is what we're doing.
And he whispers.
Yeah, but your guys' narrative was that he was telling people to storm the Capitol, right?
When you go to Alaska, we're going to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, so he was telling people to enter the Capitol.
When you go up to someone like Baked Alaska, who's quite he's quite a buzzy bee around that sort of scene at that point. Stuff going on. I've seen the footage, right? And then he goes up to me, whispers in his ear. He says, "That's right. We're going to storm the Capitol tomorrow."
We're here to storm the Capitol. He's going, but like he's also going around saying we need to enter the Capitol. We need to be peaceful. We have
Baked Alaska.
No.
Baked Alaska.
Wait, is he not? Is that not true? Did I make that up? Is that AI?
No,
you're making a bit up so far. So
I'm gonna make what you just said a bit more accurate.
Okay.
What happened was he was telling people, he's like, "Now I'm gonna go to prison for this probably, but we got to go into the Capitol." And Baked Alaska's like, "What? No!" He's like, "Fed," and everybody starts chanting that, and he's like, "Peace."
No, it was a few people that was chanting "Fed." Wait, hold on, Dronetek. It was a few people that was chanting "Fed," and then there was a few people cheering on what he was saying.
No, I'll get you the footage.
But yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Like the thing is,
what I don't get is that why is it that you ask me for your chance to give your narrative, and every step of the way I get interrupted? I can add in the part where he was being where Baked Alaska was chanting "Fed." I can add in the part where he said he whispered to this guy to storm the Capitol, and my story still holds up.
All right, here. Look at the link I just posted.
Okay.
That's what I was telling you.
All right. I'll do that, and then y'all can talk all y'all want, and then I'm gonna come back, and I want to be able to tell you my timeline.
All right, we'll vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to piss Libra off, but I just thought, like, why die on this bridge? Because this is like, I mean, it's a bit of a bull.
Because it's the San Francisco treat. That's why. I don't know.
Rice-A-Roni?
Yeah, man. No, Hamburger Helper, right? No, is it Rice-A-Roni? It's having Hamburger Helper.
It was Rice-A-Roni, bro. They don't eat Hamburger Helper in San Francisco.
He was clearly treated differently to the vast majority of people that were involved in that day. I don't know anyone else who was treated like that.
I thought it was just like the general bloodlust for anybody associated with January 6th, except for that guy.
All right, so yeah,
I love how the media actually supported that guy too. Only him.
Hey, how can we confirm that that's Forg and not some infiltrator with the Forg logo?
It's him.
I mean, the way he's talking is the way that he's talking is how I am used to him talking.
Okay, so yeah, I was wrong about the cheering. It was like a few people that were like saying no, and then they started chanting "Fed." It wasn't everybody.
That's when he said the peaceful part.
It's
like peacefully.
Okay, so
all right, I'm gonna add Forg in. Be quick on the draw.
He said that like.
Don't worry if he waits it out.
Okay. So wait. All right, so here's the story. So January 5th. And you guys, if I say something that y'all want to add some context to that you think makes a difference, then by all means stop me. But all right, January 5th, Ray Epps whispers to Baked Alaska, we need to storm the Capitol. He tells the crowd, tomorrow we need to go into the Capitol. The crowd says no, or not the crowd, a few people in the crowd says no, and starts chanting "Fed," led by Baked Alaska. And then he says, peacefully. Right? Then the next day.
This is all in the 5th.
This is. It looks like it's a nighttime video, and Dronetek said the nighttime video is on the 5th, and the daytime video is the 6th. So, and it would make sense because by dark, I'm sure Ray Epps was gone on the 6th.
Well, there's video of Ray on the 6th.
Yeah, daytime video.
But I'm saying that the order the footage comes in, it seems to show, like I've always seen it, it's night footage first, then the day.
Okay, so the next day.
It makes sense.
The next day, I need y'all to tell me which footage I am missing and show that to me. But with this timeline. So the next day, is he pacing back and forth? Saying what's he saying when he's pacing back and forth?
I'll get it. It's the same thing. We got to go into the Capitol.
We got to go into the Capitol.
Where is him?
He's also telling people to stay focused. He's like, stay focused.
On the 6th, I thought there was footage of him pushing a sign into the police officers.
Yeah, I posted a picture of it. I posted a picture of it.
Yeah, Steve, can you play these videos? So if he posts them, can you play them, or Last Dance play them so everyone else gets to see them as well, like the viewers?
You posted
where's
a picture?
that picture?
Is it the one after the Fed one?
It's one of the links in there that I posted recently. There's a picture. It's a screenshot where they're pushing the sign. Ray Epps is circled.
Is it the one that starts Greg Price 11?
No, hold on. It's not that one.
Wait.
Oh, January 6th, right here.
Oh yeah, it's the one with James Hardy. It's the second link after Trump also wants to build a new FBI building.
Okay.
Right before Ford gets in here.
Is it in the private chat or the regular?
Why is this just a picture? Why is it not the video?
There's a video of it too. I have video of it in one of my videos. Slowed down. Here, I'll see if I can bring that up because I can't find it, of course, now. But thank you.
Yeah, of course it's gonna be harder. Yeah. So what is he saying while he's pacing back and forth? Did you find that?
Supposedly he's telling people to stay calm and all that kind of stuff. But there is one video where he is telling a guy, Destiny showed it to me, where he does tell a guy to stay calm. But my point is he's pacing up and down. He's making himself an authority leader figure, and he was telling people that they were telling people to enter Capitol, and secretly told Make Alaska that his plan was to storm the Capitol. So
wait, if he's telling people to enter the Capitol on January 6th, then that is going to change my perspective on that whole thing, because him telling people to enter the Capitol on January 5th when nothing happened, that's one thing. But if he's telling people
he is saying tomorrow, he's like, tomorrow we need to go into the Capitol. So he is saying, like, tomorrow we're going to be doing this.
Okay, but that was on the 5th he said that. Did he tell anybody to enter the Capitol on the 6th?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure, and I'll get you that video.
Okay, yeah, if you can find that, I would love to see it.
If you can get that, Ryan. I mean, liberal of all things to, like I said, we're having a good conversation here, and I know you're a good debater with the boys. Love you on the channel, like, but I don't want to annoy you with all this, but I don't think this is a hill you want to die on with this Ray Epps business, because it just stinks. I mean, that's the way it just feels all the evidence that I know that I've personally seen.
Here we go.
It just stinks, like, you know what I mean?
Here it is. I mean, that's him supposedly.
Here we go.
The red hat.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Is that the? Oh no, I put a video in there. So if you click the last link and I just put in there, it's a timestamp on a slowed down video of him.
On YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube link. That's from my thing.
Is that your channel?
So is this the sign thing?
Yeah, this is where you can see him pushing. It's slowed down so you can see it, but he's one of the guys pushing.
I'm just going to push that back. Well, I just showed it. Which we can
that's the video.
That's not the same as the picture you showed.
Yeah, it is. It's the same. It's just here.
That sign was huge. It would be in frame.
Right, Ryan, can you present on your side? You can present that video from your side, can't you?
He cannot.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, you can.
Can he?
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Press the options.
All right. So we're about here in your video, Drone. I'll just play it while you're messing around.
All right. Oh no, you're good. Capitol, but they don't even mention the fact that he's on video multiple nights inciting people and telling them to enter the Capitol, and he's also on video engaging in some of the violence. Here's Ray Ups actually involved in the fighting with riot police. Oh wait, that's not the sign. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's not the sign. That's what else.
He's definitely in the mix.
He's right in the middle of that. He's right in the middle of that.
He's in the middle, but do you know that he's there to try and fight police or trying to keep...
Liberal, you were saying that he's not on the outskirts, is he? He's not on the outskirts.
Do you think... Grandmas with cancer who just went in and walked around were charged and put in prison, but somehow...
All right. Do you think that right there is enough to say that he assaulted a police officer or something?
That screenshot also.
But the screenshot doesn't show anything either. It just shows him pushing a sign. I didn't even see the police officers in this. There's
a video of Ray Epps during the day, in the Capitol. There's another one during the day.
I'm saying, do we need to go in the Capitol?
Yeah, in the Capitol. Now. You know what? I can't be for 100% sure this is from the 6th, though. It seems like it, because all these people are walking to something, right? Oh, no, that is definitely from the 6th, because it goes straight into the protest from there.
So he said it 2 days on the pop.
And he's saying it there. He's saying it right there.
But we ain't seeing it, right? We're not seeing it. We're not seeing it, right?
Oh, well, okay, here, I'll share it right here.
Oh, God, here we go.
Wait, so that first video, I think he posted two, and I haven't watched the second one. Oh, no. The one that you posted, the one video just shows him saying we're going to the Capitol, not in the Capitol.
Oh, God.
Right, but wait, isn't that the exact same thing that Donald Trump told them to do?
Can you bring it in? There you go.
Yeah, this one right here.
That's where our true problems lie.
Let's just see what he says here.
We are going to the Capitol.
That is on the 6th, though, right?
Yeah, probably.
Where our problems are.
As soon as Donald Trump is done speaking.
He's just saying to the Capitol here.
Stop speaking. We are going to the Capitol. Capitol's in that direction. Let people know. Spread the word.
I don't see anything illegal about it.
Wait, yeah, he's not telling anybody.
There, you're right. There, I can't argue with you.
Okay, cool.
Say go in the Capitol there.
Let's see what this one says.
So that footage.
All right, noted.
Here's another one Here's another one. 1 second. Oh wait, you can see it. Never mind.
He spread the word. All right, noted. But one more thing. Yeah, so can we go up there? No. When we go in. Are we gonna get arrested?
There you go. When we go in.
You don't need to get shot.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, hold on. Go back. Which one was that?
Yeah, so can we go up there?
Do you see what time it is in there?
When we go.
No, he said, "Can we go up there?" They're there right now. They're talking about it.
Up there?
Listen.
No. When we go in. Are we gonna get arrested if we go up there?
He's got a gun. He's telling them.
It's not a gun. It's pepper spray. Because Destiny actually mentioned that part. He brought that up at some point because I remember him saying something about that, but he didn't realize the significance of the fact he's talking about going into the Capitol on that day.
Wait, that looks like unless it's super early in the morning, but that looks like it's in the evening.
They're talking about right now.
No, when we go in. Are we gonna get arrested if we go up there?
See, are we going to get arrested if we go up there? That's then. That is at the Capitol. I know it's the film quality looks really bad for some reason, but.
All right, hold on. I'm really curious.
Listen to what they're saying.
He spread the word. All right, noted. But one more thing. Yeah, so can we go up there? No. When we go in. Are we gonna get arrested if we go up there?
You're hearing all that, right?
Yeah, no.
Are we gonna get arrested? Are we gonna get arrested if we go up there?
I hear that, but my guess would be that there were some. I don't know if this was the 5th, then there was probably.
This is when they're at the Capitol for sure.
Yeah, but he was at the Capitol on the 5th too, and he was at the Capitol later.
Yeah, but you were saying it's 20. Well, the last answer saying it's 24 hours before, so it doesn't count.
And all those other videos, he's talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna go into the Capitol. On this one, he's talking like we're in the process of it right now.
No, when we go in, leave this here. That could be him talking about the 6th still. Like the next day. The reason why I think that happened before was because the Capitol was breached at around 1 o'clock. if it was that time, then it would be much brighter. Unless it was a problem with the film quality.
Yeah, the film was shit, so you can't take lighting into.
I mean, I will completely admit that that's a possibility. I would love to know for sure what was going on with that.
I've always just assumed that those videos were happening on the 6th, and the one
prior to it, when he's saying, when he's done talking, we're going to the Capitol. The people are walking away, and he's saying the Capitol's that way. I think that was the 6th.
I think
that was the 6th, but what he's saying is we're going to the Capitol, which is the exact same thing that Trump said.
Right, but he's like, when we go in.
Yeah, that one could be damning.
And it's like, we have tons of video of this guy, but just think of like what we don't
stretching your wrist dance?
Yes.
So who,
that's stretching a different muscle.
Careful. McGrandy will be...
but if my dog does that,
he just trouble. The bat signal.
You'll be sending your goose stepping in a minute. McGrandy will come on.
Yeah. We've been perfecting our goose steps ever since McGrandy accused us of that.
That was the bat signal. He's coming.
I'm seeing if there's any other photos. Oh, wait, here we go. Here's the sign. Oh, here we go. I got the sign video. Here.
I want to discuss after this what people think he was an actual federal employee agent of some sort.
Well, he doesn't have to be an agent. He could just be an informant. He could be any. He never has to actually be working for the government to be, doing their bidding.
Yeah, but informant or...
Wait, hold on.
There you go.
Wait,
he was
could you post that? Could you post that link?
Yeah.
Oh. There it is.
See, he would definitely. Look, just look at this. He would definitely be a person of interest. He's right in the many.
Well, wait, he was a person of interest.
Wait there. Just if they had that footage alone, just that footage we're just seeing now, right? Now, what we have got on that footage was available from day one. Yet they avoided him like the plague for fucking 2 years.
Listen, we do. He was a person of interest. They had his name on the list. He called. He gave his side of the story. There was testimony from other people that was saying that he was telling people to be peaceful. There's video of him telling people to be peaceful. That's probably why they didn't really look into him.
He doesn't say peaceful once. What we've got footage of him saying is storm, enter, go into the Capitol, right? Yeah, and all that footage was available near enough straight away after. So this is nonsense what you're talking about.
We got testimony from the...
nonsense.
We got testimony.
He's talking nonsense.
Have you found yourself defending any other January 6th related person?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. No. So here's what I said about January 6th on January 8th. I said that if those people were right about the election being stolen, then they would be fucking heroes. That's what I said. I defended all those people because I think they were just tricked by Donald Trump saying that the election was stolen. I think yes. So I defended every single January 6th person. Now, tell me which other January 6th person is the right so avidly against as Reyes? None, and that is why I find myself defending him because I don't have to defend anyone else against you guys.
What about the Antifa guy? They hate him.
The one who filmed
the Antifa guy?
You're talking about...
What was it, Paul Sullivan or something like that?
Is there a conspiracy against Antifa guy that made it all the way up to Tucker Carlson?
It made it in right-wing talk circles, that's for sure.
He's real. The BLM member. But they kicked him out.
Wait there. Wasn't he the one that films the killing of the veteran?
Yeah.
So are y'all saying that this Antifa guy was also a Fed?
He sold the footage as well, didn't
he? Yeah, he sold all of his footage to MSNBC and CNN.
Yeah.
Where would I have contention for y'all's narrative against this Antifa guy?
He was inciting people a little bit. I don't think there's a big conspiracy.
He's not interesting, really.
Yeah, I don't.
That's why I don't talk about him.
I just wanted to be completely
calm down.
I'm just saying, I don't get where Dronetek. I don't get why
you're mentioning things like he's told people to be peaceful and stuff. We've just shown you footage repeatedly where he's saying going to storm.
No, you showed me one
and all
video.
that footage was available. Yeah, you just cherry pick what's available. Right?
Welshman, what you showed me.
If he said peaceful. It doesn't even matter if he said peaceful because in the next sentence,
do you hold Trump to the same standard?
What's that?
Do you hold Trump to the same standard? It doesn't matter that Trump said be peaceful?
He said protest peacefully and patriotically at the Capitol.
So the fact that he told people to go to the Capitol, that makes Trump responsible, right? Because even though he said be peaceful, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, it was the actions too. It was the actions.
But when did Trump say to storm the Capitol? That's the bit I want to understand.
Trump. He whispered in one guy's ear that we're here to storm the Capitol.
Well, but he said that was his intention as he told everybody we got to enter the Capitol.
So what do you think he meant? Wait, what did...
This is what I mean. This is what I mean.
What does storming the Capitol mean to you guys?
Why die on this hill?
All right, from a guy who's on video telling people we need to go to the Capitol and be peaceful, and it has had testimony from the guy who took down the first barricade that he told him to calm down, and was telling him people in testimony after that he was there to try and calm people down. He was there and trying to calm people down. What do you think he meant by storm the Capitol?
Well, what would you think?
I would think that he meant that he was going to go into the Capitol with overwhelming numbers.
No,
peacefully.
I added that there was going to be a literal storm there.
No, I think that he wanted people to go.
Guessing. Talking about the weather.
I think that on January 5th, he wanted people to go into the Capitol peacefully.
They've changed around StreamYard a little. Sorry, Aphid, I missed you down there.
I'm wondering where he was.
So I've been here since you were playing the guitar.
There's 3 layers now. It used to just be 2, and now there's 3 underneath in the green room, I guess you would say. So
now hold on, I do gotta watch that video of the sign. That was the last one I clicked on, I think.
I think I'm done with this topic, though. I'm really interested. Did you guys see? I posted it, but Donald Trump posted on Truth. He posted on Truth that he's going to build a big, beautiful FBI building. It's like, what?
What will he call it?
In D.C. I don't know if you're aware, but the FBI has selected a location in Greenbelt, Maryland, to build their new headquarters.
Right, and he was saying, no, we don't want to move it. We just want to build a big, beautiful new one right here, where all the crime and rapes and something like that. Yeah.
Did you say you're done with this topic?
Like, why are you kissing up to the FBI? They literally tried to take you out. Like,
did you say you're done with this topic?
I'm kind of done, dude. I've been doing it all day, man.
I understand because you had
that Destiny for like 4 hours.
You had that debate with Destiny, but
he's not just done; he's well done.
Like that video of him with the people that pushed that gate does not negate the idea that he was trying to keep people peaceful. He wasn't the one pushing the gate. He wasn't the one. He wasn't the one pushing the gate.
But like I said, if that was the only footage you had, right, then he would definitely be a person of interest, right? But all that other footage was all available within like a couple of days. It's bullshit. It's bullshit when he says, he explains it, and because he said peaceful to one guy, which I haven't seen anywhere.
You guys, wait, stop right there. Wait, stop. You said, stop. You said because he said peaceful to one guy. No, you're just wrong about this. You said because he said peaceful to one guy. No, he said peaceful when he was announcing to the crowd that we were going to go to the Capitol. He said storm the Capitol to one guy.
Peacefully.
But you guys want to harp on the storm the Capitol part when he said that to one guy.
So the FBI will turn around. Are you trying to tell me that the FBI will turn around and because he's turned around and said peacefully in one statement and said storm it in the next statement? And later on the next day, he said we need to go in. You think that negates what he said previously? Because it doesn't.
I think that the FBI didn't have him as a high person of interest because there wasn't really much that they could charge him with.
But that 70-year-old pensioner was of interest, wasn't she? The one who went in with her crutches.
Who?
She was of interest.
She got prison time for illegally parading, and they got her to come out and.
She was actually inside the Capitol, right?
Yeah.
Ray Epps wasn't in the Capitol. I would imagine that probably had something to do with why the FBI.
Epps was
when you're talking about a terminally ill patient, a cancer patient, right, they're basically just trespassed, and that's all they did. They didn't get involved in any rucks or any trouble or anything at all. Just got carried away and one
dead horse with a live horse to kick for a while.
My guess would be
they hammer them.
My guess would be that the FBI looked into the people that were actually in the Capitol before they were looking at the people that never actually went into the Capitol.
Yeah.
I would
for
say
the most part.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think they looked at the people who were committing violence outside of the Capitol against Capitol police officers first and foremost.
Yeah, but those people probably went into the Capitol also, right?
I don't know. Some of them were probably just happy to have beaten the shit out of some Capitol police officers.
I guess that's possible, but we've had to find somebody who didn't go into the Capitol, but was actually beating the shit out of police officers and got looked at before Ray Epps in order to actually prove that.
I hate that this one riot.
We don't really have comparables. Like the guy was pushing the sign up, right? Well, there's 5 guys pushing the sign up. We'd have to look at the other 4 and see how they were treated to really say whether Ray Epps was treated differently.
We'll never know the truth. It's just, it'll always be a conspiracy theory.
So what about the federal government suing Texas if they enforce the border?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Any thoughts or knowledge on that? Because I didn't read the article, but
I do want to add one thing here that I think Dronetek makes a good point, and we've dismissed. And that is that it's true that news media, there's Fox on one side and CNN and MSNBC the other. But it's different for newspapers. There really is no right-wing, well-funded newspaper. There's no right-wing New York Times. There's only the New York Times and maybe the Washington Post, and they're both left-wing. And these are the kind of stories that take a lot of resources, that take a team of reporters, that an unbiased New York Times could get to the bottom of this. All these things we're arguing about, they could go and find out, was Ray Epps treated better or worse or differently? And these are relevant questions. And
there's no appetite for it, though, is there?
We're not going to be able to do the research. Even if it's all out there, it's too much work. And
that's
only
the spirit.
I
but he's right, though. He's right.
They have a staff of researchers, the New York Times, to do
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just being a penis.
That's funny. No, that was hilarious, dude. You're so right.
I think that the idea that you're going to look at something so huge as January 6th, everything that was going on in that, all of the footage that we have of that, and you pick out this one guy, Ray Epps, and create this narrative. Wait, hold on.
Come out?
Yeah, I know you didn't. The right. I'm talking about you as in the right wing in general. You pick out this one guy.
You almost say he glowed.
You pick out this one guy, Ray Epps, and say, why isn't he being treated the same as this person, that person, that person, that person? And then you create this. You can't. I don't see why you think that's worth. Hold on a second. I don't see why you think that's worthy of creating this grandiose narrative that he's this FBI informant and that's why he's getting all this special treatment.
I didn't say that. When did I? I've never said FBI informant. In fact, I had to keep reminding Destiny today that I've never said.
Wait. So what do you believe then?
Well, I've said that he could be anything. Who knows?
But what do you believe?
Hold on. I even said he could just be a regular civilian. That if they paid more attention to him, people would blame him perhaps for the incitement and what happened, and not Trump. And they want people to blame Trump.
But what do you think is the most likely scenario?
I think that outside of it just being nothing, and it's just the way it worked out. Outside of that, I think it's most likely that he just gets in the way of the narrative. I think that's probably the most likely. But
so you don't think he's an FBI informant?
He could have connections. He was in the Oath Keepers. Maybe he was an informant for the Oath Keepers. I don't know.
But you don't think that he was like an FBI, somebody sent there by the FBI to instigate people?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll put those words in my mouth.
And that would make sense in line with all the other stuff. Like they make sure that there's not going to be a
comeback.
And they know, and then they instigate it because, and then we didn't really talk about this, but there's lots of video where the whole crowd is totally peaceful and there's police like throwing.
Yeah, we were going to get to that, but because I got research on that too. But this right. So wait. So do you think that it's?
The guy got shot with a rubber bullet, like killed, didn't he? Or I'm not sure if he died, but
no. Ashley Babbitt was the only one that only protester that died.
Well, another guy got shot in the crowd by a rubber bullet for no reason.
Okay. So wait, when it comes to Ray Epps, do you think it's the most likely scenario that he was a plant from the FBI sent there to incite people, or do you think it's the most likely scenario that he was just some dude, some Trump supporter that ended up inciting people?
You can only pick those two.
I think it's probably, if not an informant, the next most likely scenario for me is just a regular guy who did incite it, but and because of that is a problem for the narrative against Trump.
So, but you think your most likely scenario is that he is an informant or a plant?
Well, can we just clarify something? Why would an informant be part of the process? Wouldn't an informant more or less kind of be observing if they were an informant?
Well,
right.
If they're
background operation.
Well, you're right. But informants.
When he's whispering, he was trying to help out a guy. He's like, "Hey, you don't go. I'm trying to help you out. Like, I know what's going on. Don't you go." Maybe that did happen. Maybe he did whisper that to that guy, which is kind of weird to me. Like, because just like everybody pointed out, you can see the video. It starts right then.
Well, it's easily explained. Wait, Dronetek.
This guy.
That is easily explained by the idea. That is easily explained by the idea that he wanted people there in large numbers, but he wanted people to be peaceful.
I mean, I would not smoke, Steve. I think it's important.
Real plan is to storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
Peacefully.
I think it's important to point out that the FBI does have a bit of a track record of entrapment.
Right, the Michigan kidnapping.
Oh
case
goodness. Okay, so which one do you want to do now? Do you want to do the FBI or the police were shooting peaceful people, or do you want to do the Michigan Whitmer thing? Because I did research on both of those.
Okay, either one.
Okay, so
yay.
Tangential to this, the Michigan. I'm sorry. Look, I have prepared a lot for this debate.
Research. I'm with you, man. Go for it.
Okay, Gretchen Whitmer. So why do you think that? Wait, why do you think this was an FBI setup? The Whitmer case.
So, as far as I know, basically the FBI set up this guy who was literally like a homeless guy eating rats. Like some druggy homeless guy that was eating rats. They got him and gave him a bunch of money, basically told him what to buy, what to do. They put together a team. Like, didn't every single defendant get off?
No, that's far from what happened. So
three of them, or was it three of them?
What I am hearing from you right now is that you think that this the FBI set up these people in what were they called, the Wolf something? Let me see if I got the name of that group. I did not put the name of the group. I'm an idiot. But you think that they set up this right-wing group that was planning on kidnapping Gretchen Whitmer, but you don't really know what happened, like the details of the case.
I'm not super familiar with it like I am other things, but I'm somewhat.
Okay, so I just want to point out, and this is because I want people to have better ways of thinking. I want people to think more rationally and logically about these things. I want to point out that as a small piece of your narrative when it comes to the Jan 6 being a setup is the idea that Gretchen Whitmer case is proof that the FBI is constantly doing this. And you don't really even know the details about this.
Well, here's
case.
what I know. I know that the cases. I'm pretty sure the cases were dropped against several of them. There were at least 12 of the team. 12 of them were all FBI informants. Like, most of the team was FBI.
Okay, so there were 14 men charged.
Right, 12 of them, 14 charged?
Yes, 14 men charged. There were 3 informants and 2 agents. Do you know the difference between those two?
There were 12 informants.
No, there
That's
was
what I'm reading.
3 informants and 2 agents.
It's for the shitload.
Hold on, wait. I'm willing to be wrong on this. You can link what you're reading when it said 12 informants.
1 second, I'm reading a couple other. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll catch up.
So here's what I got, and I'm gonna be straightforward with you. This part came from Wikipedia, which is why I wanted you to link your thing because I'm willing to be wrong on this. But yeah, so there, according to this, there's 3 informants, 2 agents. Do y'all know the difference between an informant and an agent?
I think so.
Yes, an informant's just a regular schmuck who they trap somehow.
Well, actually, I'm glad you phrased it that way because
Here we go.
Hold on a second. Let me find it. Okay, Big Dan, one of the informants. The informant that they collected most of the records. This was not a guy that they just tracked somehow. He was a member of the group before becoming an informant, and he was concerned about radicalization of the group. So he contacted the authorities, which is how he became an informant. It wasn't some guy that they trapped. This group was already becoming radical, and this guy was getting concerned about it. That's why he contacted the authorities and became an informant. I've got that right here if y'all want to see that. Hold on.
I'm posting in the private chat the stuff I have here.
So they're the Wolverine Watchmen, and Big Dan was an Iraq war veteran.
Yep, I'm just reading that.
And he apparently joined to keep up his firearm skills, but then was put off by the radicalization and contacted law enforcement. And apparently these guys posted a YouTube video, which probably wasn't too smart. I mean, these guys seemed like idiots, man.
Yeah, they were, for sure. I'm still reading this. I should be better versed on this, but...
I read this when I was doing my research.
All the informants, I'm like...
I read this when I was doing my research, and it's just basically talking about the 2 people who were found not guilty.
Yeah, but how many people were... So how many convictions were there?
There were 14 men were charged. 5 were found not guilty. Now, those other 3 were people that weren't even charged with conspiracy to kidnap. 9 were found, 9 were found. 7 of them were found guilty, and 2 of them pled guilty to their charges. 6 men were charged specifically with kidnapping charges. 2 pleaded guilty. 2 were found guilty, and 2 were found not guilty. That means 4 out of the 6 men that were charged with kidnapping were in one way or another found guilty. And then there was 3 informants and 2 agents.
Well, conspiracy to commit kidnapping was the...
Yeah.
They didn't actually get her.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Adam Fox got it. Ty Gabrin got it. Caleb Franks. Yeah, I mean, there's other shit, though. Material, aiding a terrorist, and membership in a gang. Pete Musico got 12 to 20 for that. And 2 of them are in ADX Florence, which is a really, really high security. Like the shoe bomber is there and stuff, you know? So, Barry Croft.
Here's the indictment for the actual people who got conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Oh, wait. Shh. Hold on a second.
There's a...
Oh, yeah. So, Fox was saying he needed 200 men to storm the Capitol building in Lansing, Michigan, and take hostages, including the governor. Did the FBI put him up to saying that? I don't think so.
This one says, FBI concocted Whitmer kidnapping plot, acquitted says.
Can we switch to Aphid combing his beard for this topic?
Hell yeah.
ASMR, man.
Well, RW, you remember yesterday when we were talking about how you said that the Jan 6 is played out? And I was like, no, I actually like these topics because there's a lot of information out on them now, a lot of accurate information because it's not breaking news anymore. And each side has completely different realities that they're living in. And I like combing through the facts of the matter, the same way we did with Ray Epps, where Dronetek was posting videos and we were finding out that he was saying this or he was saying that and when he was saying it. I think this stuff is really interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm just a little tired of it because, like I said, I've been at it all day, so I'm a little tired.
I know, I understand.
But it's just harder for me when like we're presenting information and it's like, well, he said that, but you know,
he meant this.
So.
Well, okay, so if you want, he said that, but Trump also said that.
What do you mean? What do you mean by storm the Capitol? I mean,
so Trump said that. Why are they accusing him of doing it?
It just looks like it comes down to personal, interpretation. That's just what it seems like.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying that he's definitely an informant, but I'm saying it's
going to change their mind at this point when it comes to.
I mean, it's very spooky, the whole thing.
He doesn't work directly for the FBI, but I'm sure he could have been, like you said, employed, outsourced.
What does a specific job title for them mean? Like if he is an actor that's part of a movement to cause a bad thing to happen, but we're arguing about his specific title. I mean, I don't find any value in that. If we're going to argue what part of something nefarious or not, that's cool. I think the answer is yes. Do I know who it was for? No, but it makes sense that it has to do with the elite and the powerful wanting something to happen.
The topic was January.
That's where I'm at too. Like, I don't quite know what's happening, but something is definitely going on there.
RW, the topic was January 6th a setup. Ray Epps being an FBI informant, telling people to go into the Capitol on January 5th. If he was an FBI informant, that would be a really big deal. If he's just some random schmuck that believed Trump's lies, then that's not such a big deal.
No, I just said what I believe, but would I be correct in saying? Yeah, but would I be correct in saying that the FBI boss, when asked at the Senate how many field officers were on the ground on January the 6th in the crowd, he refused to answer that question outright? Am I correct in saying that? Can someone fact check me?
Yeah, that's completely reasonable.
Okay.
Why would the FBI director say anything about any potential informants they may have in these groups that may be currently trying to gather information?
We didn't say informants, it was agents.
Either way. Why would they say anything about?
Because he's being asked at the Senate.
Okay.
It doesn't mean he has to answer.
Yeah, that would be.
It doesn't, but at the same stage, if you're going to answer that question, it would be at the Senate, and he's refusing to answer the question, so people can just look into that when he could have answered the question.
But that
is this the thing with Tom Cotton? Is that what you're talking about?
That would be putting the operations in which these agents and informants are trying to accomplish at risk.
Well, it's all over now, isn't it? They've nicked everyone. They've nicked everyone. That question was posed, I believe, in my memory, a couple of months back, 4 months back. So everything was all fucking convicted and done by that time. So you're not doing anything now, are you?
Well,
I just give you a number.
I would.
Okay, I work for a prison. There is information that I cannot share with the inmates. If an inmate were to come up to me and ask me about the information that I can't share, like let's say if an inmate comes up to me and be like, "Hey, did inmate Smith, were they the one that told you that information about me?" I'm not going to tell them yes. And inmate Smith wasn't the person.
Straight. Here's a shank.
Yeah, if inmate Smith wasn't the person, I wouldn't tell them no. If inmate Smith was the person, I certainly wouldn't tell them no. Yes. What I'm going to say is that I cannot give you that information. I cannot answer that question either way. Because if I start telling people no, and then I refuse to answer when the answer is yes, they're going to figure that out. So if this FBI person were to start saying, "Oh, we have 16 people in this," first of all, she like saying that we have this many people undercover.
What harm would it do? What harm would it have done 4 months ago when posed a question at the Senate to say, "Of course, I had agents on the ground." You know what do you expect?
What harm would it do?
There may still be informants in some of these groups that need to be protected.
Well, whether there was or wasn't informants in those groups, the FBI director wouldn't say anything.
There's a different point to be made, though. There's information we don't know that we can speculate and guess. But then you guys were arguing about how Ray Epps said something on one day, but he didn't say it on the next day, so therefore it's not a big of a deal. And it's like, here we have information that did happen, and you're looking at what someone was saying, which was to go and do something. And then because he didn't do the next day, then you're saying, well, then he couldn't possibly be this or that because it didn't happen on this day. And it's like, you're looking at all this information that happened, and then you're like sugarcoating something to fit the narrative.
But he said peacefully once.
RW, what I am trying to do is explain to you what in my mind is the most likely reason why Ray Epps wasn't a high value target for the FBI.
Oh, there were a lot of people that weren't particularly high value targets that got.
But what does it matter if he was or wasn't? If he was an individual that caused more bad things to happen on that day. What is the value of his title with a specific organization?
The conversation isn't about whether or not Ray Epps is a good or bad person in regards to January 6th, where he did good or bad things. The conversation was January 6th a setup, and as a part of that question, people like Dronetek and I guess Base Welshman over here says that Ray Epps is proof that, or is a part of, it could be a part of the proof that that January 6th was a setup. And as a part of proving that,
FBI?
Huh?
Does he have to be a part of the FBI for that to be true or not true?
Well, what's the other scenario in your mind?
Who knows who the fuck he's working with?
Huh?
Who knows who the head of the snakes are and organizations they're using at that time? FBI is an option, but it's like we're arguing over what group he's from. When you look back at the bigger picture and you see how things went down and recordings of what people said and how they were treated, when you fit all the pieces together, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I already don't trust the government. And so I'm not going to defend the government in this situation. I'm just looking at the information being like, that doesn't make any sense. And then what the stuff they're telling me doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna. It's just it's a large clusterfuck of bullshit. And
yeah, I don't see how Ray Epps was working for anybody but his dumbass self.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Fed? No, I don't think so personally. But
then you have to answer the question of why he was treated so lightly.
And that's what I've been trying to do this entire time. You're asking me why am I like trying to excuse him? I'm explaining to you why the most likely scenario as to why the FBI didn't make him a high value target.
And your conclusion is that?
Here's my opinion, if anybody wants.
Well, his conclusion is the Ray Epps spoke to the FBI and gave him his side of the story, which is nonsense because the footage of him talking shit the day before and on the day was already out there anyway. Just because he said peacefully in one statement, it doesn't neglect.
Said peacefully in one statement. The next day, he's got somebody testifying that he told him to calm down.
The FBI would have nicked him.
Let's have AFID give his opinion, yeah?
My opinion is they have their own videos of the same videos we're seeing and thousands more that they've combed through and looked at all these different people that they've grouped into, we've seen what the internet has focused and grabbed together of everything that they've found of Ray Epps and put it into one, major motion picture of how he's in this narrative. Well, the FBI knows that there's 1,000 Ray Epps out there that have said and done the same stuff that Ray Epps did. And, that's why, he's just another one along the list. I think the only people that have made Ray Epps special are the people that have focused so much attention on Ray Epps.
I agree. Appreciate you, Al. Alfie. Hey, stupid question.
Close enough.
I guess the only thing I would say to that is that
Alfie.
Alien life form.
I'm gonna call him
Wait,
Alfie.
hold on, real quick, Alfie. I feed it. Aphid. Okay. Aphid. Stupid question. Is that a green screen?
No.
Or do you actually have like all that shit set up?
He actually has that.
That's crazy.
Oh
my gosh.
He's actually in orbit right now.
Those are screens.
ISS,
yeah.
You should see the ICBM.
All right, so I've got
nuke your ass from there.
I've got one more section. If y'all want to get into the whole idea that the FBI was inciting peaceful people by shooting them and spraying them, right? That's one of the talking points, right?
That sounds very improbable.
No. Hold on. So,
it's interesting to me that that's a common excuse I hear, or I did hear during the left-wing riots, that they were being incited by the police shooting tear gas at them. Anyway.
Absolutely. And you were probably, at the time, like, that's dumb, right?
No. Oh, yeah, I thought that was bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, so why is it that that's, like, a valid thing now?
Because there is some video. I'm not saying that it's definite. I'm 100% on that, but I have seen videos that suggest it. It is possible that I have not seen all angles, or it was a certain edit that deceived me. I am leaving that open as a possibility.
You know what, Dronetek, I actually appreciate that, and I think I'm done with this topic now, because, like, what I appreciate is that you are having the same skepticism of these videos that are coming out now that prove this one narrative. You have a newfound skepticism of them. Just like when you showed me all that shit about Jacob Blake and the narrative that was around there, I had a newfound skepticism of breaking news and how all that shit went down. So I appreciate that. So I think this is a good place to end this topic.
I'm not even sure what you guys are talking about, but
So here's what I'm talking about. When I watched Dronetek and RW, and I think Riddle was there, talk about this the first time, the night that I missed it, and I came in the middle of it.
This is what I don't understand what you're talking about. Talk about this. This is, what do you said the FBI shooting at people?
Oh yeah, in the crowd. Yeah, so we were saying that I'm saying that I think one of the things that could have incited the crowd was the Capitol Police throwing stun grenades and tear gas and rubber bullets into the crowd for no apparent reason, just doing it.
And I looked into those. So you posted, I think, 2 videos.
There's a couple. So there's one of a guy like shooting some sort of gun, like a sniper, just into the crowd. Mm-hmm. There's one of the body cam of him lobbing grenades. He's just like, plah, plah. And there's one where the cops like, hey, we're pissing people off with this. The people were mad, and then we're throwing grenades, and it's pissing everybody off because we're getting all these innocent people. And there's that video, and then there's people. You can see people getting sprayed just in the crowd. They're just like spraying down into people.
Yeah.
I can go find them if you want me to. I can go find them all.
So instead of just turning around and leaving,
we're so close.
Instead of just turning around and leaving, they thought, let's attack more.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like once police start doing that, it's time to turn around and take off.
Right.
Probably.
Go home.
Hey, I'm with you. I would never have put myself in that position. Not in a million years.
Can we have a subject change in 5 minutes?
Yes, 5 minutes.
When we finished this particular one.
Yeah, this was the last little tidbit that I did research on, anyways. Cool. But you posted 2 videos. I don't know of all the videos that you just mentioned, but when you guys had this first conversation, you showed 2 videos of one was the cop saying we're just pissing them off, and the other one was of the stun grenades. The ones with the stun grenades, there was no timestamp, but the ones of it's the cop saying we're just pissing people off. I know for a fact that happened after the protest was officially declared a riot, and after the people had already started getting violent. So that part of the crowd might not have been violent, but they were trying to disperse the crowd before they could, be backup for the people that are already in the Capitol.
I'm posting clips in the private chat if anyone wants to see them.
Yeah.
Is my mic low now, RW?
It sounds
better,
good.
buddy. It's better.
Certainly interesting stuff.
There's more. For some reason, it's getting harder to find these videos. It used to be easier.
Yeah, Elon's probably canceling these people.
There we go.
Well, I could have. Hey, Drone, have you ever thought of streaming like simultaneously on X?
Oh, boom! Oh yeah, look at that one. That video I just posted. Yes, and I would like to do that. But there's a perfect video of just peaceful people getting stun grenade, man. Like,
yeah, but
Here you go. Present it, then, Ryan. Present it.
That video happened after the breach.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, these people
present it, then I'll feature.
Like you can see that people are on the scaffold when they're not supposed to be.
There you go, Steve. I'm sharing.
I got. Okay. All right. There it is.
I think that makes it perfectly okay to just
there we go.
to just do that.
Well, it's pretty stupid to throw a grenade right into the middle.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Just to be clear. Just to be clear. The narrative around this is that they were doing this right here to try and incite these people to break into the Capitol, but the Capitol was already broken into.
I mean, these people are all well below. They're down on.
Even if it's broken into, how does it make it?
Those guys that are over there that aren't causing a problem, let's throw a grenade at them.
Hold on. I'm not saying that them throwing grenades at peaceful people was a good thing. I am saying that this was not their intention was not to incite these people to attack. They had already the people that were going to attack had already attacked.
It certainly had that effect.
Look at that shit.
It's certainly a what?
If this happened after the building was breached, that's I'm not even going to argue any of that. I don't care. It's just like what was the purpose of it in the first place? Hey, you over here.
Cool. So you're in agreement. You're in agreement with BLM.
After it was breached, it wouldn't fucking matter. I mean,
No. It does. It matters for the topic of did they do this in order to incite these people to get violent?
But when you've got shit going on in the Capitol doors, and then 100 yards away you just got protesters, what are you going to do? I mean, because by firing them there, then that's all you're doing is you're inciting more trouble when you've got shit right on your doorstep, rather than let's incite more people 200 yards away. It just doesn't make sense.
There's another simple explanation. Last Dance pointed out from his own experience earlier. This is a completely inept, shitty police force. Maybe they literally didn't know what the fuck they were doing and just throwing grenades out there. That might have just been bad police work.
Yeah, that's just how that's just how the police disperse crowds. Like. That's just how they do it. You can say it's bad, and I would agree with you, but that's.
I don't know. I think that was wrong. You don't throw it out into the middle because that could cause them to come towards you.
Exactly, they're going to go the wrong way.
What you put all the explosions and fire at the front of them to get them go the other way, not out, way into them.
Exactly.
I mean, my point is that they weren't trying to get them to become angry and attack the Capitol. They were trying to
certainly had that effect.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion. It just didn't look that way.
They may not have intentionally done that, but I think possibly unintentionally, they didn't help their own cause with that.
I could agree with that, Smokey Steve. But Riddle, real quick, do you think that all the videos of police attacking what was then peaceful protests in BLM, do you think they were trying to incite them to become angry and attack?
Which part are you talking about?
In BLM, do you hold that same standard? That when police attack the peaceful protests, because there were instances of that happening.
Do you think BLM is comparable to January 6th?
And what do you mean?
Exactly what I asked.
It's always getting compared, so apparently yes.
Apparently to you, yes?
Yes. So in this instance, in order for me to try and test your standards, yes, it is comparable.
Give me a reasonable comparison, and then I'll answer the question.
Okay, so if there is a riot, a BLM riot somewhere in the city, most likely the police is going to try and disperse all crowds. even if that specific part of the crowd is being peaceful. If they are trying to disperse a peaceful crowd, they are going to use the similar tactics that they used at the Capitol in order to do so, regardless of if they're being violent or peaceful. It happened at BLM. It happened at January 6th. It's just how the way the police are trained to disperse these crowds.
I mean, isn't one a public land and everything else is a private organizations like looting and rioting? I mean, that's pretty much, you can't really compare BLM riots to the January 6th insurrection.
Okay, but if this protest had just now had a bunch of people breaking into the Capitol, destroying property of the Capitol, fighting police, then yeah. Are you saying that like the order to disperse was probably wrong in the January 6th?
Wait. So in BLM, you had incidents where it would happen day after day, especially at sundown.
Oh yeah.
And so at the beginning of that, I'm not sure what the cops did, but I know that after a while, they, at a certain point of the day, would start doing tear gas and moving large crowds away so that they didn't have to deal with the burning of buildings and stuff from the large crowd at night.
Yep.
But if January, it's like we're comparing something that was one day after the next consistently a problem and how they were dealing with that versus an event that happened at a single day.
So do you think that they should have just let the January 6 people stay there?
The ones that were just standing there without causing a problem? That the
the entire group.
Absolutely.
Was there no chance of them trying to break in again?
I have no idea what they would have done, but I know that they weren't doing anything at the moment.
I happen to know that after the initial break-in, there was a large crowd of people trying to break in again. So my guess would be that they didn't want any large gatherings around the Capitol for good reason.
That's a good guess.
Okay. In that case, they're going to try and disperse every large crowd they see, regardless of what they're doing at the moment, before the potential that they could cause harm in the future.
Right.
Okay.
And these are the methods they use to do that.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like that. And you could say that, yes, because you were there, right? So that's good. But if ad hominem doesn't really work for people, like you say, then why should I take your word for it? Even though you were there, I didn't see any video footage from you. But from the video footage that I got, it didn't look like that was working. So I don't understand how you could justify that. I mean, you could try. You could jump through hoops
you can question the methods, like the effectiveness of the method.
But for some reason you're defending the methods. Shouldn't you just question them?
No. I'm not defending the methods. What I am saying is that their intention was to disperse the crowd, not to try and incite them, which is the claim that I am fighting against.
You're defending the assumption of.
So then I could just say these insurrectionists were their intention was peaceful, right? I could just say that.
Except for the ones that were peaceful, yeah, sure.
Exactly. So except for that one grenade that was put in the middle of a crowd that was doing nothing. So it's the same thing as like what you're saying.
Okay.
Oh, that was the intention.
Do you deny that, generally speaking, when a police needs to disperse the crowd, they typically use things like stun grenades and less lethal munitions?
Well, towards the heads.
They talk to them and say,
towards heads. Because I've seen many riots in London since the Summer of Love, intensely, and I've never really seen police throw like grenades or what? I don't want a grenade. What was it? But throwing stuff like that at the head height, because I've seen plenty of protests, and nothing. They're getting thrown down the road, and they're exploding sort of towards knee height or below waist as a general thing. I think it's going
to depend on what kind of munitions you're using. That's probably typically true, though. I could chalk that up to that individual cop's incompetence. Because, I mean, was it Last Dance said that that's one of the worst police forces in America, right?
Are we sure that wasn't tear gas? Because I'm really not sure what that was.
Yeah, I think it was a flashbang.
Okay.
That would be odd to throw a flashbang in the middle of a group, because that would be the exact wrong.
Which is an explosive. Which is, like I said, it's an explosive.
Yeah, it would be to harm and not to deter.
Flashbang is just a start.
All right. Don't do that, Steve. Wrong ammunition.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make a loud bang in a flash.
Yeah,
you got shrapnel on those more, and you got
towards your face.
concussion. It's a very different I don't know why they wouldn't just use tear gas and pepper spray.
Well, they did that also, and the crowds were also using pepper spray against the police.
I like pepper spray.
That particular one with the grenade in the middle of it, or what?
Jalapeno spray.
Or are we talking about BLM? Are we talking about BLM? Because that would be much more accurate towards BLM.
Wait, no, not that particular one, and that was throwing a grenade. There was a lot of police there. There was a lot of Gen 6 people there. Wait, do you deny that Gen 6 people were using pepper spray against the police?
Do I deny that? Did I deny that? Does it sound like I'm denying that?
It certainly does sound like you're trying to insinuate that.
I've seen the video. I've seen the video.
How'd you get that, dude? That's crazy.
I'm assuming.
No,
you know what they say about assuming.
I'm an ass.
I said insinuate. I didn't say the word.
Me and myself is an ass. I think that's how they say it.
Isn't it an insinuation and type of assumption? So.
Yeah,
I'm
Johnny.
saying you're insinuating. I'm saying you're doing the insinuation.
Okay. It's all right, Cluck.
All those people dying, John Grammaticus, we don't really pay attention to that. It's nothing, apparently. Yeah.
I would agree with John on that one. We absolutely have to deal with that. That's a crazy Chinese problem that we got to deal with south of the border as well. All of it.
Damn right. I heard you say. Yeah.
You can't just turn
fine,
your back on certain things because they're not as important as other things, though.
Well, it's not.
No, I mean that is important.
It's not turning your back on it. It's just addressing a bigger issue.
Wait. So what are we talking about now?
Yeah, but he said. Oh, I don't even see what he said.
Are we good to move on?
Hey, Steve,
Yeah,
can you show the screen I'm sharing real quick?
Well, Liberal, because you're a special guest on here today, obviously, as well. Would you like to talk about Ukraine, Russia, or the Gaza-Israel thing? Maybe.
I have very broad strokes opinions on those things. I don't have in-depth, like really deep opinions, but we can.
Yeah. If I give you a direct question about Ukraine, I mean, what do you think the future's going to, what the near future's going to be for Ukraine and Russia? What do you think is going to happen there?
Future's bright.
Are you asking me what do I think the result of the war is going to be?
Well, yeah, that's basically what I'm asking.
I have no idea. Not even a single pittance of an idea.
I mean,
go ahead.
Well,
okay,
what about the POWs that just got moved to that one front lines? Did you see that article?
No.
The Ukrainian POWs that Russia moved to the certain battalion front.
So to fight for Russia?
It sounds like they're trying to get them to fight for Russia. It's like how do we even do that? The article. I dropped the article in the back chat, but
that sounds like a massive defecting company waiting to happen.
Yeah, the whole article didn't make sense.
Yeah. What is the back chat?
Well, that could be just like a
private chat, and not comments, but private chat.
Reminds me of the scene in Braveheart when the Irish go forward and then they shake hands with Braveheart and then turn around and go back and fight the English. How are you going to do that? You're going to, it doesn't make any sense that they're going to fight for Russia unless they are willingly choosing to do so. What is this article?
Yeah, put it in the back chat. We've been talking about obviously Ukraine, Russia for a while now, and I know people's opinions have changed on the panel over the last 2 years because things are much clearer now. But at the same stage, and it's not meant to be a trick question, but the numbers in death on both sides the numbers could be going into. Now, these estimates, I can give you the top estimates, about 500,000 people on each side.
Yes.
And around about 250,000 seems to be the bottom edge on that. Now, they can argue about, especially I'm hearing a lot of Ukraine saying they're killing loads of Russians, but I'm getting reports back anyway, but I would suggest maybe 500,000 European men have slaughtered themselves in a very small space of land in Europe, and for what? It's terrible. It's disgusting.
For a few terrible reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tragedy, but you say for what? To the Ukrainian people, this is for their freedom and their sovereignty as a nation.
Yeah, but once again, if you actually look into the history of Ukraine and Russia, certain parts of the eastern parts of Ukraine are very much proud of their Russian roots, and they voted to be Russian.
That's what I was trying to tell Tyler a few days ago. But he just said, "Oh, just because they speak Russian doesn't mean they want to be a part of Russian." Blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, you're too long-winded in your responses. These people that they're fighting over, they wanted to be a part of Russia.
Are you talking about polls that were conducted after Russia took over?
No, before.
Before? Oh, I don't know anything about that.
This is during Obama period.
Yeah, I mean, even if like,
was it the Donbass region, right? Is that what it's called?
Donbass, Crimea.
Crimea, yeah, started with Crimea for
sure. As well.
I mean, if they felt that way, they wouldn't be fighting them.
No, but look, see, when you look into it, since 2014, the Ukrainian government have actually been bombing Ukrainian land that are predominantly Russian speaking and from Russian heritage.
They're not even fighting over Crimea right now, right?
No, they took that without any fight at all. They annexed it in 2014.
Yeah,
Okay,
that happened back with the little green men.
Yeah,
with 6 guys.
And this is what's been going on. The Ukraine government has been actually bombing and shelling Ukraine land since 2014. You know, the war didn't start at 2022, 2021. It started at 2014.
Yep.
And that's the reality, and that's what we're not told in the West. You need to look into it. You're just not told it.
I remember that whole thing. Do you remember seeing some of the videos where there was like one guy with a shitty 6-shot snub-nosed revolver?
I should not be the owner of it for so long.
Soldiers shooting back with fucking, whatever Russian AK-47s or whatever. It was really a bizarre situation, that revolution in 2014. Some of that footage was... We were getting it on Live Leak, boys. Remember?
Well, that was... Russia was supplying pro-Russian rebels with tons of weapons, and that's how they ended up shooting down MH17. Well, actually, those were actually Russian soldiers who manned that anti-aircraft, shot the plane down. But yeah, there was. Go on, base.
Well, no, wasn't it a Western-backed leader to take the Russian leader out of power in 2014? That's what started that revolution at the start, wasn't it?
That's what started it. That's true.
And that was the West getting involved in Ukrainian politics again, because they want that democracy, whatever.
You're right, exactly.
Their own style of democracy.
Right.
Ukraine's kind of like, I feel like Ukraine is what they want to do in America. Like banning opposition and banning opposition media and all that. Not much of a democracy really in Ukraine.
Yes, to save democracy, what we're going to do, we're going to try and ban what 50% of the people in the country, roughly, voted for last time round. And that way we can save democracy.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Well, they want a top-down observation society with, what is it called? The social credit system, just like China. That's what they want. And Ukraine is a test bed when it comes to warfare.
What was the cat's name that was on the other night? Dronetek with the long hair. What's his name? That Sansol?
Sansol, yeah.
The dude you had on your channel.
Yep.
Well, somebody brought up the recent voting they had, like between Donetsk, Lugansk, the pro-Russian speaking areas or the Russian-speaking areas.
Yeah.
This, was such a bastardized survey that they took.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this conversation? Was anyone here involved with that? Brittle, I think you were there.
I was kind of drunk, I think, at the time, so I vaguely remember it, but
with
I know that those, they had the referendums and stuff.
In 2022, I believe.
Yeah, that was a set. That would have been a setup on it. You're not going to get a true reflection there because obviously people have left, didn't they? You know what I mean?
It was like 98% pro-Russian or something like that.
Well, there's a lot of Russians that have moved there, right, over the years.
Yeah, but it was also
go ahead. Yeah,
completely dismissed by the international community as a sham.
But it was at that stage because Russia had already gone into the Ukraine, that part of Ukraine. So they were controlling that part of Ukraine. They were doing the referendums, but they did do referendums before the new outbreak in 2021, and like in 2020 from 2014 all the way up to 2019-20, and the referendums on that eastern side were wanted to be controlled by, they wanted to be Russian. And it was down to a couple of things, obviously family roots, the language, and they did, that's what they wanted. So that's what the referendum, and that's what they voted for. But so it wasn't as clear cut before, but it was it was over 50% they wanted to be part of Russia. I can't remember the numbers. Try and find it out then, Steve. The ones before 2020 or something like that.
Okay, so here's one from Crimea since 2014, but it says that these referendums are likely to be molded on the one held in Crimea in March of 2014, in which pro-Ukrainian activists and journalists were detained while the local government aired Russian programming and citizens voted while Russian soldiers watched. I mean, I don't know if there was ones
Sounds like
earlier
America,
than that.
doesn't it? Sounds like America.
No.
Hey, it's something, interesting segue on that. Well, it's not really a segue, but do you guys know that Russia has referendum efforts going on in Alaska?
Is that for real?
As crazy as that sounds, but they actually have, they've paid for billboards and stuff, apparently, in Alaska. And they're, promoting, that should be part of Russia.
Well, Schmidt, how confident are you?
Prove it with the screenshot. Go ahead.
How confident are you with the claim that the people of the Donbass region wanted to be annexed by Russia?
What dates?
Like before the Russian invasion.
What's a Fray Bentos?
What a loaded question. I mean, what do you mean? How confident are you about that?
Well, you made that claim earlier, so I just want to know how confident
you can only go off of the evidence that you see, right? You get some people saying they don't want it, and you get some people saying that they do want it.
Okay. Obviously, I've made the claim, so you can prove me wrong now. So.
Oh no, I'm just wondering how confident you are.
Well, I made the claim, so I said it was Crimea Donetsk.
I mean, I got a Washington Post article right here. It says, our research suggests that in a free, fair referendum held throughout Donbass, under international supervision and with impartial, transparent, and inclusive voting rules that allowed those displaced since 2014 to vote, which apparently which says to me, and I don't know because I'm just now starting this research live on air, that there was some issue with people who've been displaced since 2014. I'm guessing
it happens.
Crimea.
Yeah, it always happens.
Yeah, and
whenever there's a sectarian or nationalist conflict, there's this ethnic cleansing.
Okay, so I don't know. You haven't.
I didn't get to finish. So this tells me that there was an issue with maybe people not wanting to displace people to vote. But anyways, I don't know that for sure because, like I said, I just started the research. The majority would be likely to vote to remain in Ukraine. However, a vote restricted to just those remaining in the Donbass would be likely to endorse joining Russia. Oh, this might be when they say those displaced since 2014. They might have been displaced out of the Donbass. I don't really know.
Or out of Crimea.
It could be out of Crimea too. Either way, war has hardened attitudes, so any such referendum would be.
You've asked the question about getting the numbers. Can someone get the numbers up?
Well, I mean, that's what I was looking for, but I was just wondering, like, how confident you are, because right now it looks like to me that most people would have said.
Well, you're literally giving an opinion from a newspaper.
Yeah. So let me finish what I'm saying. Right now, it looks to me like more people would have wanted to. Please just let me finish. Remain in Ukraine, but I'm not very confident on that claim because I'm only getting the opinion of a newspaper right now. That's why I was asking, like, how confident are you? Did you see solid polls in 2014 or 2018 or whatever?
It would be before the 2021 war or the 2022 war.
Okay, so did you see, like, solid polls in 2017, 18, 19, 20 that said that Donbass wanted to be a part of Russia? Like, is this a thing that you've seen?
Yeah. But I can't leave the internet because I'm on my phone. And
that's fine. That's
why I'm asking people
to
do a fact check for me if they can. In the eastern.
If you want some bullshit answer, I'll give you this: 51% confident. How about that? There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the source I was given, but I didn't like cross check it. No.
51-49. Okay, Lee's in favor of this one. Still believe in it.
Well, I mean, if we talk about 52-48, like the British Brexit vote, there was a lot of controversy on that. Oh, screaming! But what you got to look at is 4% was 1.2 million votes. A lot of people.
I think Brexit's way better for you guys in the end, to be honest. Because fuck the EU. Look what they're doing to themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, currently Germany's in a recession. France is at war. Spain is being ignored by World Stream media. There's been protests in Spain for 60 days solid against the socialist government there. And you won't have heard that. You won't have heard that in anywhere in the West.
I actually haven't heard that at all.
Yeah.
Can you post something about that, please?
Yeah. I'll try to find it
Put it in the back chat.
So was the invasion in 2021
with extreme prejudice?
Yep, ram it up there.
Yeah.
Should I share some drone footage from the Ukraine so we can? This doesn't have any gore or guts, but there's people getting blown up.
Oh man!
Sorry, Aphid.
Just so we can.
This might not be friendly for your.
Do you guys want me? I have some good footage I could share that I've.
I think this.
I'm sure you have.
I think this is passable.
Hey, Aphid, just out of curiosity, what did you want to do?
Huh?
What did you want to do? Or talk about or?
Me?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, just like bullshit stuff, you know. More about.
Like nothing serious. Like
Right.
I don't blame you.
But this is only.
I got no agenda.
I want to talk about something.
I don't blame you. We could do that.
So you know that you know that coat hanger at the front, that wire coat hanger. So I'm guessing. I've always wondered what it is.
We talking abortion?
No, right here in the video on the screen.
When it touches the. Yeah, when it touches the target, that's the trigger.
I think so.
I always wondered.
That's what I've thought too.
When it touches the wire.
It's a bit like why the coppers touch the back right-hand corner of the suspect's car.
Got him.
Got the first guy.
Hold on, y'all showing like I'm streaming on YouTube. Should I not be?
I've seen this.
No, it's fine. This isn't that bad.
Jumping into the car like that's gonna save him.
That's all they got, dude.
Oh, I know.
They're fucked.
Oh, so fucked. There's no running from those things.
No, there's nowhere to go.
Dude, that's insane.
A lot of guys will just be like, "Yeah, I'm dead," like that guy.
That's it.
I mean, is that guy already dead or?
No, he was trying to just hide his head.
He was waiting for his at the end.
That guy's hand is
a dead man walking.
He's got half a hand.
Yeah.
He's gonna have.
Why you don't have shotguns?
He's probably fucking concussed too.
That's the last one.
All right, so what's the?
How slow it's going.
Hey, what do you think is a?
Yeah, it goes in slow under the branch.
I got a question for you guys. As a soldier, from these little explosive drones, they're a major threat that's being tested in Ukraine, right? It could be used against us, right? What do you think is a good solution to defend yourself to increase the probability without hiding behind something?
Shotgun, bro.
No.
Well, the way they're dealing it with electrofield, they're interfering.
EMF or whatever.
They're interfering with the signals. That's what both sides are doing at the moment. That's one of their biggest things.
But what if you didn't have that? What if you? What I'm thinking is maybe like a metallic blanket.
How would that?
Not when you see that when they already see you on multiple angles.
Obviously inexpensive, but it could work.
Well, no, these guys are watching them on camera and saying, "There's a guy." They're going to just say, "There's a metallic blanket. There's a guy under it. Let's blow it up."
Have you seen the video?
Explosive proof.
These guys are seeing these happen in real time. So if you can pull it out, it might at least save you your life. You know, you'll be fucking concussed at least, but
you want to be.
If you're anywhere near one of these things when it goes off, that's pretty much it, because you're going to get so much shrapnel.
Like an airbag going off
and bleeding out.
Yeah, I think the shrapnel is traveling faster than a bullet, and unless this blanket you're talking about could stop a rifle round, it's not going to stop the shrapnel.
Okay, so
I mean, it could.
So I found. I did a search.
Shrapnel's not going directly at your face like a bullet is. I mean, it could, you know. You never know.
I hear you.
I did a search for polls conducted in the Donbass region, and it does look like most of the people want it to either be a part of Russia or be a special status through Russia.
Yeah, what's the percentage, liberal?
So if you're counting Donbass as a whole, it was 49.6% wants to become part of Russia, with another 13.3% choosing such a scenario with special status for Donbass. It was only 19.2% that sees Donbass as a part of Ukraine.
Right.
What is your right now is the situation that Russia is only occupying this area and the people there want Russia to be there?
Yeah, so currently Russia are occupying all areas that have previously voted to be part of Russia.
Mm-hmm. But wasn't their goal in the invasion to get all of the Ukraine?
It was.
I don't think it was permanently to take it over, but certainly to rub their noses in it. Because Putin has been threatening this for decades now, since 1991, since they said they wouldn't go east, and they keep on going east and keep on going east. So basically, they kept on poking a bear and poking a bear and poking a bear. And it was inevitable in the end that he was going to fight back.
It is true. We have said that like we're not going to expand NATO eastward, and that's just what's been happening the entire fucking time.
So you're talking about NATO, okay?
Well, I wish Lee Howell was where he's here. He's a NATO hawk.
Yeah, I mean, he gave multiple ultimatums that NATO basically just laughed in his face, and in the end, they called his bluff so many times that he had to take the bait. Sadly.
So it's my contention that after he achieves his desired result in the Ukraine, he will go no further, and I am absolutely sure of that.
I'm sure of that.
I think it's complete bullshit that people think he's going to go ahead and attack various other countries.
I am also sure.
I don't think it's totally beyond probability. I mean, I think there's a possibility of that, but
the thing is,
weird. I can kind of go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, but the thing is, we're talking. You know, I always bring it up, but I'm about bodies. I'm all about bodies. You know, even if we're on the low numbers, 250,000 men on each side, Ukraine is fucked, right?
Yeah.
There's a generation of young Ukrainian men. They're dead. The other ones are cucks. The other ones have done a runner. The other ones have fucked off to Europe, right? Yeah. And left their countrymen to die in the meat grinder. Okay, but on both sides now, we got Russians as well on the other side. You know, maybe the same numbers, maybe more, but it's just. I mean, I don't think there's any appetite to keep on going east for Russia, and certainly there's fuck all left of Ukraine. Ukraine's destroyed.
So if you
I think like
go ahead. You didn't talk.
You were saying how people people's opinions have changed. I think Russia's opinions have changed since the war started. I think at the beginning of the war, I had more faith that they would go further, but now, I mean, they're stretched, and I think the world sees that they're not nearly as strong as, you know.
See, this is what I said to Drone, and Drone's like, "You're gonna apologize to me when they actually invade more countries." And I'm like, "No, I'm not, because they're not going any further."
Yeah, they're gonna have to sit tight for a generation, and by then Putin's gonna be out of office. So who knows what's gonna happen?
You all really think that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they have a lot of. I don't think they have much to. If they hold on and which I've heard that there's a lot of cemeteries filled with new plots of.
Oh yeah, Russians are dying.
So they're hurting just as bad as Ukraine, and it's not like
I explain the difference.
The Russians. I don't think the Russians, the kids that are over there for doing this fighting, you know, care as much about this war as the Ukrainians that are trying to save their land. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they have anything left in the tank to go further after this is over with.
Okay, well, I would hope it seems that way sometimes, and you're right. Russians are dying. They're dying, a lot of them. I mean, geez, just from day to day, watching all the videos of huge groups of these guys dying, and just looking at the tallies every week. Tons of them are dying. Here's the thing: they can replenish those forces pretty easily. I mean, not even like they haven't even gotten really into like the conscription and all that, like, or the drafting. They haven't even had to do that yet. Really, Ukraine is literally like struggling to get 500,000 people, or is it that? I think that's the number, 500 or 200,000. Trying to get people to come back, like you were just.
They ain't getting it.
Right, I don't see how they have the numbers. I've seen analysis of this before it happened, like a year before it happened, when people were speculating that it could. And I saw so many people talk about it back then, saying that this is exactly how it would end up. It would end up an artillery war, and we didn't foresee the drone thing, but they said that eventually Russia would just wear them down because they just don't have they're not going to be able to have the manpower, even if the U.S. keeps sending equipment, and they don't have the ability to manufacture to keep up with Russia's. Somehow they've gotten through all these all the sanctions, and their manufacturing is actually blown up. They just say like
haven't hurt them. I shouldn't say it all, but
exactly. You've got 190 odd countries. I think it's over 150 countries are involved in what's going on, right? And everyone was whinging about the Russians and their supplying. I was getting told that the Russians are on 24/7 on supply for certain things, and they have been from the start. And I've been getting told this from the start. My point I was making, what I was going to speak about, and somehow they've still managed to compete against 150 countries that we seem to be struggling to find some of the ammo, some of the machine hardware we need. But more importantly, everyone on the panel would have heard that Putin is 1, had a stroke, 2, had a heart attack, 3, had a fucking another heart attack, 4, diabetes or some sort of other disease.
I've heard some sort of a neuromuscular disease.
Yeah. Okay. Just to put into context, about 4 weeks ago, he stood or sat in front of the world media and answered questions for 5 hours. Okay? 5 hours he answered questions for, and they were random questions. They hold like a spatula up with like a teddy on top to try and get his attention. It's crazy. They can use anything to try and grab, and there's hundreds of press. We don't get to see this, but if you Google it, you'll see him answering questions for 5 hours. So he's got Parkinson's. That was the other one, wasn't it? Parkinson's. He seems fucking perfectly fine to me. Are we just being fucking told lies all the time? Obviously we are.
I will say this, Based. He's not immortal.
I understand that, but how many times have they told us that he's had all these things going on, right?
Over and over again.
He's dead and dead.
One of these times they're going to be right just because he can't live forever.
Yeah, like a clock is. But the funny thing is, your presidents can't answer a fucking question for one question. In about 5 minutes, one question he can't answer, really, unless give it to him on a silver platter, right? Putin's answering questions for 5 hours.
So it's the narrative.
Look at the place there.
It's the narrative that I'm hearing is that Russia has annexed only regions that want to be a part of Russia. Although he did have ambitions to take over all of Ukraine, but only temporarily. And that if the Ukrainians keep fighting, they're going to inevitably lose. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that Russia would take a deal with Ukraine if they were to be like, all right, these places that have previously polled that they want to be a part of Russia, y'all can keep, but you got to stop invading us everywhere else.
In April 22, Zelensky and Putin were in peace negotiations. It's all well documented now. And what happened was Boris Johnson, who was president of the Prime Minister, of the UK, quickly went out to Kyiv and said to Zelensky, don't you do no peace talks, we'll back you, Americans will back you, Biden's given me a reassurance, do not go for any peace talks. Not peace talks, they were in peace talks, don't go for any arrangement, because they were gonna basically the lands that Russia wanted now is the land what they agreed on back in 2022, April 2022. You can Google it. It's available. Put down Boris Johnson.
I remember reading about that, and from what I remember,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Since that time, so there was February the 26th was the invasion. So basically 1 month, the 6 weeks of fighting, where a lot of boys had been killed, but not the numbers that we have now.
Okay.
The numbers we have now are just crazy.
So from what I remember of that piece, Putin actually did some shit that made Zelensky not want to do the deal. It wasn't.
Okay. I'll get the article up now. Come back.
Cup of Tea had he said Russia will take a deal. I kind of went back against that because if Russia sees themselves as strong right now, I don't see them taking a deal that's anything but amazing.
I would actually go back on that. I would actually kind of agree with Cup in the sense that they're going to keep everything that they already have currently right now, militarily occupied. That was the deal that's probably what Russia's going to want or will accept if they made a deal right now, which is a good chunk.
I'd be surprised to see them take it. Why wouldn't they take more if they could?
Did you guys see that donkey eating pills and doing cocaine, or was?
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw a picture of it.
All right, okay.
No, it was totally not random.
There was no reaction. I mean, I wasn't sure if my screen share was working.
I thought that was the beginning of Aphid's A Minute with Aphid show.
No, but while we have this break, RW, I'd like to know, and I think it's the elephant in the room, did you ask ChatGTP to come up with that background for you, or did you design it yourself?
I designed it by asking the AI generation to do it for me.
There you go. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 12th attempt. It finally put the letters in the right order without mutating.
Really?
That's good.
Nice. You've gotten good at that, man.
You guys are good at
learning the different ones.
Asking AI stuff. I'm telling you, man, this AI thing, it's going to make...
It takes practice to get good at it.
It's going to even the playing field. It's going to make the dumb people sound smart.
Did I interrupt somebody with the donkey thing?
You got to be smart to figure it out is the thing.
Not at all, man.
Not as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
yeah, interrupt away.
I'm a little more pointed, but not really, man.
All right, I thought.
Do you guys all have a good Christmas? I want to make sure I specify that I'm really curious to know if you guys all had a good Christmas.
I had a good Christmas.
In the back chat, Liberal.
Not everyone celebrates it who's here.
I got one of these things.
Oh, that's all right. Did you guys have a good
celebrate it? So.
Did you guys have a good Monday?
Monday, there you go. The Monday.
Is that a soundboard thing, right?
No, it's a stream controller.
Yeah,
it's got like macro buttons that you can for scene switching, and you can use for editing too. I haven't figured it out yet, though.
I was just going to ask if you'd figured it out.
I got YouTube videos.
I need to know how it's faster than tabs on a computer screen.
Well, because it's one big button. You know what it does. You just
it's dedicated. So you got like 10 buttons, and you can dedicate to certain like.
Yeah, I can definitely see the usefulness in a stream for like scene switching, and like if you want to like pop up a video or something, I can just like bam, bam.
Yeah.
For editing, I'm interested to see how I can use this for that. So
for what? What do you got? Stream Deck?
The Steam Deck X, yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. I've always wanted one of those, but I was too cheap. I'm a cheap bastard.
You'll be able to get one from the thrift store in 5 years, bro.
Right,
yeah,
I know.
Almost guaranteed, yeah, seriously.
It might be the one Dronetek has, actually.
What part, where's your local Goodwill? Let me know when you go.
Right, that's funny. Shit.
I don't understand the technology well enough for me to not see it.
Are you saying I'm not going to be doing this much longer? Is that the joke?
No, it's just like to me it looks like a gimmicky technology that I don't understand enough for me to see how it's going to take off.
Right. Well, it's been around a while.
It's been around forever, man. Like if you use OBS, I'm sure Dronetek's familiar with OBS. Like, you know, and switching, because like the way it's like if you're doing like when I used to do a show and stuff, I would set up where I would interview people, so you'd have a different, everything would be different, you know, when you were interviewing people, or when you would do like a Skype group call. Well, back then, I still go on Skype, but I don't think Skype's even a thing anymore. But, you know, like a setting like this, you know, where you got a bunch of people talking or whatever, and it's a whole, you have a scene, you know, basically, and the streaming program, and switching back and forth with that is convenient if you don't have to go into your settings and do it, you know, where you could just push a button.
Move around and click with the mouse while you're talking,
right?
And doing all that.
It can make it so much more professional.
Well, what is it doing? It's just putting a different screen inside of your feed window.
So when I plug it in, it brings up all these cool little icons on the pad. I unplugged it because my computer kept rebooting, and I'm like, is this thing causing it? But
you showed me a picture of it lit up.
Yeah, it's really neat, and so you can assign different graphics actually to the buttons and to the functions you want, and and you can program them. And macros, it's for macros basically.
Can you give me an example of, say you were streaming right now, or say we're Steve using it right now?
So like we're in this scene right now, right? And I want to switch to a scene where it's just me, with something like on a little video above me in the thing. So I hit the button and it switches to that screen. Or I have a video I want to show you guys, and instead of like having to find it and click I just click this button, boom, it just pops up.
So when it logs in.
Okay, so it's like pre-programmed scripts, mostly for messing with your heads-up display.
No,
you can make it do. You can make it do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah.
That you assign
it's easier. You know, it takes 10 buttons to do it one way, but he can just push one button and it does it. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I did the news, when I did
editing, you can do that, and just push a button.
Well, like when you make your own. You know, if you got it down to a science, even when you make your videos, it could speed up the process of making your videos because I don't know if you use OBS for making your videos.
I do. Well, I use OBS.
It's just so convenient.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. OBS is great. I love OBS. I do use Streamlabs, but like even Adobe Premiere, like there's macros I can use for editing the videos, like in Adobe Premiere, which could be really
like if you have a green screen set up and have your different backgrounds for different things that you're talking about, discussing.
Just
Windows
speed up
everything. Right.
Adobe is still here, still around.
Yeah, it'll be around.
Adobe.
I love it. I pay for it. I even pay for it. How about that?
I don't pay for shit. Unless it's free, I ain't using it.
Hey, I pirated.
That's my motto.
That shit for a long time.
Yeah, we already know what he does to Costco.
Back in the day, like if you were trying to I was doing a lot of research on some biology stuff. It would say like your version of Adobe is not current and up to date, and like, do you remember that? This shit would freeze your computer.
Oh yeah. Flash, like Flash always had to update.
Exactly. Every time Flash. It seemed like, dude, it was what the fuck?
You remember the QuickTime was the same way.
It's crazy.
I guess Flash was extremely vulnerable to outside sources.
Java updates. See, that when I was a tech, that was a weird thing where you would walk into an issue with a computer and it had something to do with Windows. And so many times the solution to the problem was just updating Java.
Yeah,
like
right.
it's so weird that
Java
from that
JavaScript or some shit.
F in chat for all the games we lost on internet browsers.
It's terrible.
Hey, RW, I got a question
Windows,
for
there's
you.
a Java like driver, like software, and it needs to be updated. I used to, not anymore, but yeah.
Since we're talking about tech here.
Go ahead, hit him with it.
Last night, you seem to know your way around the Discord, and I uploaded a video last night on my Discord because I went to the skate thing, and I didn't know we could upload videos, and I don't know if is there a time limit or size limit or something?
Size limit.
I was able.
There's a size limit that changes based on how many boosts your server has, but even as a free server, it's very, very giving for the size of the files you can upload.
I didn't know if it was because it was my Discord that I could upload it, or if everybody can upload it.
You can give anyone permission or not permission to do those things. It's generally set to be allowed. So, and you have a good group of guys, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you had a large group of people that you didn't know.
Right. I don't care if this shit gets shut down.
The thing will be silent for fucking 6 days straight. It's great over there on your Discord.
It is, man. It's
nothing happens.
I think that's changed. I think there's more life to that Discord server.
There wasn't this week, bro. Wasn't this week?
Every server was.
Besides Last Dance is
besides my dad jokes. We need to promote more cross-pollination across the servers between all of our servers. Because I think a lot of your guys hang out on our server, on my server. So,
well, there's shit going on. That's why. So we go over there. You know,
man.
Right,
I can hear you. I can hear you, Smoke Steve.
I think Dronetek that we are doing that pretty well.
You're hurting the feels. You're
here because of your server. Riddle's here, and I think I pinged everybody on your server that's here at the moment. Besides Aphid, I pinged him on his server.
I know, but I'd like to help these guys get their servers more active too. We can all work together.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It's Aphid's server. It's his.
Oh well, I chat on
it's
your
fine
server.
It's fine with me if it's because when it gets too busy and there's like drama and shit, I don't want any of that. I don't want no drama. So if that means there's somebody talking on there, I don't want it.
Well, we do advertise on my Discord. We do have like an event thing. And it shows when Smoke Steve's when this pub is going live. It shows it up in the corner there with the green button.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Last Dance, will you drink some gin or something? You're fucking yawning up a storm over there.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually about to go to bed.
It's past 6. He's tired.
Past 6. Have some booze. It's New Year's Eve.
Not New Year's Eve.
Once Wheel of Fortune gets
I
off,
said Eve
Last Dance
twice.
gets sleepy.
New Year's Eve.
Wait a minute. We have just an hour countdown until New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. Yes.
All right, guys. I'm outie. I'm going to bed.
And a half here.
All right, Clark. I hope you got to enjoy yourself and have what you were after tonight.
Yeah, it was a good debate. I feel like my research was worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. It was good talking to you.
Thanks for the debate and cheers, mate.
It's good to see you. I think you need to do more of it for sure. But it's good to see you.
Exactly, Renee.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. That was a good debate. I will be back soon, hopefully sooner than I've been, and have a good night. Bye bye.